Indeed. That is correct, Lilac. Hello. I played the original itch.io demo release of this game on YouTube because the aesthetic looked really freaking cool. And this is the Steam release, which is, if you watch that video, this is gonna be really familiar. But at the time I said I knew that they were planning a Steam release with updated aesthetics, new additional lore, new additional interactions and whatnot, and like actual gameplay mechanics. And the gameplay mechanics look really freaking cool. Hey, Dark. Honestly, yeah, it's still like that's how the industry profited so much over the years by making it look so bloody cool. But makes you want to kind of want to get a fake water cigarette for the vibes. Yeah, I mean, I could never serve anywhere near as well as Morgan could here. Honestly. One thing I did miss here, because I started the game up once just to set screen size, and yeah, when you start this game up for the first time, pull it up on Steam, download the demo, which is free, open it for the first time, you get the really cool of the devil splash screen. This is the normal title screen of sorts. So. Oh, hello. Rain sizzles off neon above me. The summer shower creates a noted uptick in the flickering of holograms down the street, and a slight blunting of the night's ambience. Emphasis on slight. Lights, camera, and constant noise. This city's got insomnia, with the uneven heart rate to prove it. There's no escaping the second-hand nervous energy of it all, but I'm plenty acclimated. This wave of worries cresting on the surface while I hold my breath deep below. Besides, a microdose of nightlife anxiety suits my mood just fine. But if I'm not careful, this client of mine is gonna die in jail. Criminal attorney. It's hard to get away with murder these days. People are still presumed innocent, at least on paper. But by the time they're in cuffs, there's hardly any shadows of doubt left. Because this whole world's lit up, mapped out, never unknown, and always online. Whether it's incandescent, or neon, or hollow, whether it's LCD, LED, or just the nearest phone screen, there's light shining on every last pixel of the map. And someone's always watching. Solitude's a rarity, anonymity is scarce, and criminal defense attorneys aren't exactly flush with customers. So you take whatever clients you can get. You don't balk at public defender work, no matter the hour. Would you even care, though, if they were convicted? I mean, keep that in mind. It might become relevant. And should you find yourself in one of the last dark, quiet corners left in the whole world, well, smoke 'em if you got 'em. Not that there's much else I can do until my phone. Counselor, your public defender contract has been approved. You are expected at the 254th precinct. Present your ID at the door to enter. Arrive at least 15 minutes early. Okay, the graphical, the aesthetic. I'll try. Looks like the paperwork came through. As the last member of the Right Anything Agency, I have to do what I can to protect the innocent. It's nearly 3:15 now. 90 minutes since I took the job. Probably makes it about 2 hours since they finally got smart enough to ask for a lawyer. If they're really smart, they'll have used that time to get some rest. Because now that I'm here, things are gonna get busy. Episode 0. And he shall appear. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. Precinct 254. I'm immediately loving the graphical, not overhaul, but upgrade, flourishes, extra details. Really cool. If you're experiencing an emergency, please use our universal contact number at string not found. This desk is programmed for check-in and information only. If you are experiencing an emergency, please use our universal contact number at hyperlink blocked. It's a goddamn ghost town with nothing but a hologram for a welcoming party. Ooh. Search terms. Okay, this is a really cool setup. Search results for hologram. Noun, 3D image formed by light. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay, these are the really cool touches in the database system here. Enabled by specialized projectors, mediums like conductive resin, holograms are graphical displays that appears three-dimensional to the human eye when viewed from any part of a face. Range of at least 180 degrees. Effect known as the Watterson illusion phenomenon. Originally patented in late 2059, Watterson's phenomena was initially used exclusively in the adult entertainment industry. Holograms have become widely adopted as an advertising tool until the much maligned Holiday season of 2061. At 40 years to go till the great holiday season, after which laws restricting the presence of holograms in public spaces were passed with uncharacteristically universal support. We're sorry to see that you've installed a subroutine on this device to disable and highlight our recommended premium external links. We understand your drive for personalization, but unauthorized tech impacts our ability to serve you the best, most relevant information possible. Considering disabling your subroutines, we can serve you a more tailored browsing experience. Is this modern-day ad block? Let's see here. Not necessarily convinced by this or any other projection in the distant future, 60 years in the future, but it is a fascinating one. It's hard to make accurate predictions that far ahead, when there's so much that's so uncertain. It seems that there should be technological innovations that we can... Oh, absolutely. It's... Yeah, it's... not necessarily it's less intending to be an accurate prediction, including timelines, and more speculative. Yeah. It's more speculative. Guess it's comforting to imagine that there could be functioning societies in the 2080s, yeah. Oh, certainly. Also, I am enjoying the smartphone interface here. Let's see. Is there anything like, because to Dark's point, accessibility feature, if it's not already there, something about the opacity on the text is a bit hard to read. That I can understand, and that might honestly be a good thing to consider for the devs down the line. I'm hearing about a homicide. High clearance rates be damned. You'd think they'd treat it with a little more gravitas. But whatever, if I'm that unimportant, they've got no right to complain if I take my sweet time getting checked in. And I should take my time. Information's like cash in my line of work. You gotta spend it to make it. And if you're flat broke, no one will give a shit what you have to say. Well, let's see if I can't poke around and shake some change loose. But it's heads up! Use mouse to look. Point and click. You earn credit for investigating anything and everything you can. Ah, don't go broke. Ooh. Okay, that's a cute touch. King. Inspect. High traffic hallways, utilitarian furnishings, multiple screening stations. Pragmatic brutalism, so textbook it could teach freshman level architecture. You can almost hear the building drone on and on about concrete and iron and hard right angles. Civil planning equivalents of battle scars. From a fight won so long ago that they're starting to look ridiculous. I'm sure they was all very imposing back when it was built. But walking in here now, with crime rates where they are, feels like a hospice ward for heavy-handedness. Datapad, I'll bite. Even with their more advertisement than article, they can still be informative. In a flowery, roundabout, corporate propaganda sort of way. Ooh. Choose the proper takeaway after reading and you'll earn additional bonus credit too. Oh no. You're gonna check my media literacy. Okay, declaring the subway tunnels to be irreparably flooded. City engineers announced this week that all plans to drain, repair the system, were being suspended indefinitely. Saltwater damage. Oh, flooding. 89% of the subway systems was evaluated as critically compromised or worse. Civil engineering efforts will be refocused on maintaining an expansion of the hybrid super infrastructure system that weaves together trains, highways, walkways, and skyscrapers into the canopy high above our city streets. Reaction to the announcement could be characterized as blasé. It's been years since the subways last ran, and decades since they last ran on schedule. Most citizens have long since given up on hope on them ever making a comeback. Online chatter barely reacted to the announcement, with most commenters and voters' attention focused instead on the growing investigations into Councilman Long's campaign finance irregularities. As one of the canopy's major backers in City Hall, Long has often found himself at odds with a small but vocal group of critics that consider it to be an eyesore and an amplifier of light and noise pollution. And with Long having stepped away from his political duties in order to more fully cooperate with investigations. For the first time in nearly 20 years, the typically rock-steady political foundation of the canopy was looking uncharacteristically shaky. Subway's now officially no longer an option. People and corporations alike have little choice for how they complete their morning commute. Not all reactions have been negative. A few bold individuals see this as vindication, and possibly even a rallying cry. Already considered by many to be a rising star, the tech startup Subterra made headlines last year with their radical proposal for a system of personal submarine taxi pods. Oh no. That could make use of the flooded subway tunnels, but momentum stalled with their first prototype for this. When their first prototype of the city came in at a disappointing 3,359% over budget. Fucking Elon, man. The one council member was quoted as calling their system mind-bogglingly wasteful and impractical in the extreme. In light of this latest announcement, Subterra has proudly declared their intent to resubmit their proposal package. Across the entire globe, coastal cities like ours have... coastal city. Coastal cities like ours have struggled to find civil engineering answers to rising sea levels and subterranean flooding that satisfy both financial, practical, and aesthetical concerns. That makes sense. Build up above the skyscape of the city, and you have eternal light pollution, day in and day out. Water rises and falls all the time for reasons we do not fully understand. Are we to... It appears you have 0 free articles remaining this month. Please verify your account information in order to continue reading the stories that matter. Ballsy of them putting the paywall there. As if I'd reached my wallet after having to read a word like aesthetical. Besides, I got the gist of it. The takeaway is that the city will be focusing its efforts on... a canopy. There'll be increased scrutiny surrounding the canopy now that there's no plan B. It's a massive project with massive budget. lines the pockets of a lot of people, big and small. None of them would appreciate bad press at the moment. Not when Councilman Long's already thoroughly chummed the waters. Alright, what else we got? This is a little shaky. Observe! The full game came out? This is just chapter 0, Red. Also, hello. This is essentially the complete remaster of the chapter that I played for YouTube, but with all of the added flourishes that are going to be in the main game. An actual police lineup. It's like I walked into a museum. The museums tend to feel expensive and clean. Dusty, forgotten, probably lots of unpacked boxes. This homicide department's more like an attic. Hard to believe they were ever so busy that they had witnesses making IDs in the lobby. Then again, it's hard to believe that they were ever doing lineups in the first place. Are you certain? Wasn't it dark? Did you know that during traumatic events, memory formation is blah blah blah? Poking holes in that setup must have been like shooting fish in a barrel. And all during billable hours. But there's no room to sort out anymore. Not when a modded witness can just submit their testimony as a video recording. Assuming their phone didn't automatically file a police report for them. Oh, funny how that works. Also, we've got a phone. Oh, we can reread our goodies. We can search. I'm not going to read all of the lore on stream. It'll take 5 ever, and I will lose my voice. So if you're interested in reading more about the lore that they threw together here, either check my video on YouTube in the playlist or play the demo yourself. Medium's cracked in the corner. Looks bad. My phone's made of the same stuff, and I'm rolling the dice every time it falls off the sofa. Could probably know the warranty on one of these things with a loud sneeze. At least it's not broken entirely. Even at this hour, it's still dutifully scrolling through its notifications. It's like the usual 1-to-1 ratio of public health alerts and inoffensive pop culture trivia you always get served at state buildings. There's a few missing persons, too. 1 year of silver plan coverage, courtesy of Caduceus, had as a reward for any. Silver's no joke. Family must be getting desperate. Alright. Taking in all the scenery and learn as much as I can here. Sci-fi stories are more interesting as a commentary on the concerns of the present anyways. Yeah, it really is projecting the concerns of the present into the future. I was watching a video about the film Soylent Green, made in the 70s and set in 2022, but his predictions really didn't pan out, at least not yet. Yeah, again, it's interesting to see the speculative future. Be interesting to compare. You know what would be interesting? I like to compare past predictions of the future to present predictions of the future, just to see how in the years between people's perception of the future changed over time. Just food for thought. I've taken in all the scenery and learned as much as I can here. Time to get checked in. Oh! Can't believe my hologram assistant is so cute. I put it up fine. So far, so good. Good morning! Morgan. Here for the public defender contract. Would you please provide your name and... Great! Please stand still for a moment. I wouldn't call the intake hollows charming. More like harmless. That's probably what the designers were aiming for. People don't mind a quirk or two in their text so long as it never speaks out of turn. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble placing you. Could you please provide your name and date of birth? So far, so good, was it? Scan my card. Say, why don't you just scan my ID card? Great! Now could you just confirm your date of birth for me? Why do they even bother asking? Birthday's on the damn ID card. And my profile. Huh, sneaky. Morgan! Hey, there we are. criminal defense attorney. Likes puzzles, smoking, wooden furniture. Dislikes commercials, hairdressers, and jogging. Talent. Can fall asleep in any position. Wow. Coffee, decaf. Drink, whiskey sour. Blood type AB minus. Ah. You have to be a world-class airhead to get this question wrong. No problem. My birthday's December 26th. Perfect. Good morning, Morgan Counselor. Thank you for your timely arrival and for taking on this public defender contract. If you're ready to speak to your client, you can proceed to Counseling Quarter 3C. Is that what we're calling it now? You mean the interrogation room? I'm sorry to have caused any confusion. My vocabulary is regularly updated to better reflect state standards. Don't sweat it. I can't keep track of every new euphemism either. You can call it the involuntary wellness check room if they like. Doesn't change the way it makes a person feel, sitting in a stifled box of one-way panels. Letting they see with their own reflection dully warped across gut metal walls. Morgan Counselor, can I help you with anything else? Ooh, additional questions. Why did this prepare? Ooh, okay. What are you? What are you? I'm a smart user interface, proudly sold by Noble Electronics. Thank you for asking. If you're interested, I can send you a link with the information about our subscription packages. Should I send you a link with the information about our subscription packages? No. Sorry. That is a mean question to ask. Why did this prepare? You know, the city's not terribly concerned with the lower wards, but this is a police station. Why is it so goddamn dusty? This facility is currently undergoing renovations. Since when? The 60s? It has been 22 months since the timetable was last updated. Oof. They really don't see a lot of action around here, do they? I'm sorry for any inconvenience you might have encountered. I'm adaptable. What about you? Think I'm gonna fix that crack. Thank you for asking. It has not interfered with my work. Well. That's all that matters, right? That'll be all, thank you. You'll find the counseling quarters past our homicide detective's office, through the door to your right. Thanks. But I think it's just me for now. So you could go on break if you like. Automated dependents do not take breaks, Morgan Counselor. And what were you doing before I walked in? You'll find the counseling quarters past our homicide detective's office. Through the door to the right, thank you. Ads don't get breaks, and they don't get my jokes. But it's usually the humorless types that are the most fun to mess with anyway. Nice combat or something? I just realized the poker chips reminded me a lot of the Lego Star Wars studs. More is gonna get true. Oh my god, you're right. The way they... Like that poker chip animation is just, it's just for one credit, and it's a whole pile of chips. So it really does look like we're just picking up a bunch of studs. I like the animation. A voice. No. Voice is coming from down the hall. Wow, I just read on Wikipedia that the creator of Dragon Ball died recently. Yeah! Akira Toriyama. There's a huge outpouring of just utter grief and just love for the man and the work, and so much that he influenced through the years. Yeah. Compared to yours, probably. Thank God I stopped for directions. Building this empty, the desk could have just told me to follow the echoes. One voice sounds older, rougher, and decidedly low energy. Appreciate you worrying about me. God forbid I try to be serious. It is sad. While the other rings with youthful indignation. It's not like our job is important or anything. Definitely cops. At this precinct, at this hour, localized entirely in this room, They might be the only two living, breathing people in this whole complex. Because why else would you bother to print all that out? One document of 100. Looks the same on a data pad. Anytime you question a suspect, you need to have a heavy file in hand. Makes them think you know him better than their priest, their mother, their big brother. I was gonna say that. So how many of those sheets were blank then? There they are! No red carpet tonight, officers. Oh, sorry about that, ma'am. We don't keep many extra hands around at these hours. There they are. I love them. I'll leave faster and let the desk handle intake anyways. But mostly cheaper. Bad cop. You the lawyer? I am. Morgan Esquire, pleased to meet you. Same here, Counselor. Kasim London. The ball of sunshine here's my partner, Farrah Reyes. Ball of sunshine? She certainly is. Haha! Wanna die? Sorry if you were kept waiting. The chatter between the departments has been hectic all night. It's no trouble. Gave me time to enjoy my cigarette. Oh, I agree. I agree, Dark. I absolutely agree. Oh. There she is. October 19th. Let's see. 120, 162 centimeters, 63. Blood type A minus. Homicide detective third class. Likes rice, limes, automotive history. Ah. Dislikes, liars, small plates, cheap people. Enjoys watching product reviews. Bad at games of chance. Right eye, Osiris, Elite, 86. Ah. There's the boy. Likes photography, dive bar, bangs. Dislikes ties, pollen, after hours work messages. Listens to podcasts, hobby, pencil sketching. Oh, cool. Frequently, running late. There. All right. There's the gang. Cigarettes, like tobacco. What are you, 80? She can't be more than a few years younger than me. Ahem. We're, the detectives in charge of this particular case. And looks like tonight we're also your humble guides to the illustrious homicide department. Apologies in advance for heavy cobwebs. Pretty sure I've seen this London character around the courthouses before. It never struck me as more than just some old-timer. I suppose being an old-timer is an accomplishment in and of itself in his profession. Sunshine is definitely a new face, though. Rigid in her posture and her attitude. 3 in the morning and her shirt still looks ironed. Freshly promoted, maybe. 2 whole detectives working at these hours. Sounds serious. Unless you were just the first to arrive on the scene. No, we're not there, not nearly that timely. Uniforms responded to the emergency calls within a few minutes. Calls? Plural. Must have been quite the commotion. Look around. Do you think we're the first to arrive for anything? She's not wrong. We were only tapped after circumstances at the scene to indicate an involvement with an ongoing investigation. Our ongoing investigation. Not very subtle, is she? Well, I may as well bite at this point. I love this sort of introspective look of Morgan's where her eyes go dark. So we suspect that this client of mine is involved in some separate criminal activity. Wait, did they really not? Oh, I guess they wouldn't put it in a public defender's briefing. Look, consider this a little professional courtesy. Fair warning, yeah? That's the heartbreak killer in that room. And we've got that bastard dead to rights. So if you're kind, you'll help him plead it out. And if you're smart, you'll pass this shitstorm onto some other night owl and go back to bed. Love that smirk. I'm not feeling particularly kind or smart at the moment. The sprite expressions in this game are amazing, yes. So perhaps in the meantime, you'd be so polite as to fill me in on this heartbreak killer. They cover utilities at the rock you live under. Is there a problem? You're seriously not familiar with HK? Never heard of him. I've heard enough of him for a lifetime. My name has been plastered all over the city for weeks. At crimes wavering between breaking news and urban legend. The presumed goal is flip-flopping from unadulterated anarchy to unappreciated vigilantism. As street corners and the media on the net, everyone's indulging in the exact kind of armchair detective speculation that I can't stand. Right now, I need to figure out exactly how much the police do or don't know. And when it comes to cops, I always get better results playing dumb than I do acting smart. I take it he's a repeat offender. Was it the killer part that tipped you off? You must have at least heard about his MO. The media's gone crazy with it. Along with everyone else. One bullet, straight through the heart. Body left to lie where it falls. Hence the name Heartbreak. Not exactly creative, but amidst the swirl of every other 100-word article out there, catchiness trumps originality. What you won't read about it online is that all 6 of HK's victims were shot by the same gun. Without even needing to reload. Wait a monologue, yeah. Horrible to say, I know, but 6 for 6? That's pretty good shooting, isn't it? Hitting the bullseye at the shooting range is good shooting. Doing it 6 times in a row is great. But shooting 6 people with accuracy like that? It's a whole different beast. It takes a certain kind of monster. A real freak. Shot to the heart, and you're to blame. His pulse probably didn't even rise. Oh, I see. Oh. Do we play dumb? Do we not play dumb? There's Heartbreak. Look at them. Occupation. Criminal. Likes. Getting caught. Dislikes. Or likes criminal. Likes killing. Dislikes. Getting caught. Favorite color? Probably red. Is it the heartbreak that tips him off there? Zodiac sign? Probably not into astrology. Reward suspended due to influx of false reports. Sounds horrific. That's a pretty terrifying thought. Should really start paying more attention to the news. How I managed to miss 6 murders? Well, you can only blame yourself for missing 5. Damn, Heartbreak's cheating with an aimbot, yeah. Pardon? You're still not getting it? HK's 6th victim was found a few hours ago, when we caught the son of a bitch red-handed. So you're convinced that my client is this heartbreak killer and tonight was just his latest crime. It's a serious accusation with very serious consequences. Take it you have serious evidence to back that up. I was being literal, counselor. Red-handed. When we found your client, it was covered in her blood. Well, that's not good, is it? What if that's an intentional design point where, in that close-up, one of her eyes was red and one was black? What you say certainly sounds compelling. Is that lawyer talk for open and shut? Even if that's the case, how does one crime scene make him look good for 6 murders? It's all there in the discovery files, and the arcs, of course. Enjoy the local net on your phone, and we'll turn up everything you need. I'll bet. Thanks for that, detective. I'll be sure to read it over. What if it's all the same? Could I ask you two some questions while I've got you here? What kind of attorney wants to interrogate the detectives? This kind of attorney? You're just that pleasant, Reyes. Come on, sunshine. Not like we're gonna be punching out anytime soon, right? Whatever. Let your clients do an interrogation all night for all I care. You mean the counseling quarters? Oh, we're at your disposal, counselor. Alright. Barren, stark, uninviting. This must be Reyes' desk. Keeping your workstation neat and tidy is admirable, but I can't spot a single note of personalization. Is she so new she hasn't had time to unpack? Or is she really that uptight and boring? can sense you talking shit about me. Both, maybe. Alright, what else we got here? Observe this, brother. Loose wires, missing panels, and aircon system that probably sweats more than the people it's supposed to cool. No room in the budget for making the office not look like shit, huh? I expected to find a lot of belt tightening at Homicide. I didn't think their operation would be this bare bones. They got a stunning clearance rate and they work fast. If the city sees that and just assumes their job is easy. Maybe their job is easy. But with our dear doting surveillance state eliminating so much of the footwork. If your wheels don't squeak, you don't get your palms greased. So Homicide ends up as the only state department with a shrinking budget. A dumping grounds for the police force's most unambitious and least popular. Oof, that's telling. Read. Noble androids receive warm welcome. Oh, this is the warm one? This is the warm ones. Yeah. Everybody, hello, twin! There's a lot to read here. I'm not going to read over all of it, because I read over most of this when I played through the demo. We focused on the canopy, hybrid super infrastructure. Let's summarize here. Wait. It's the same one. That's the same article that we had earlier. He's in the news again. It's no wonder. Can't spit without it landing on a piece of noble tech these days. That's the same log we read earlier, right? The state's involved. Don't know if they'll bite when it comes to warm androids, though. For given use, they're just... That's a bit difficult, since... Okay, here's the actual log here. So, 2084 Trade Convention. The Anima 16. Noble Electronics and their new line of androids. 50% of organic components. Increased maintenance costs. Cuts, scratches, bruises. Anima 16 poised to break profitability records. Huh. Lucy D's. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting point down the line. The Noble Electronics lead programmer, Dr. David Asher. I feel like he's going to come up with later on down the line in this game. Because he's the android programmer who's reclusive, completely unseen. He's always been reclusive. He's become a genuine hermit in the recent years. I'm really to believe he's still... Hey, fam, looks like you're not logged in on this device. Want to put in your account info so he can help you keep reading? Good to see paywalls are still a notable thing. So, practical due to increased maintenance costs. Too frail. All androids undergo wear and tear, especially if they're directing traffic or suppressing crowds. But these warm androids bleed pink all over themselves every time they take a rock to the cheek. Bleed pink. Danganronpa. Just an endless stream of bad photo ops waiting to happen. Could it be too good to be true? Yeah, I see what you did there. What else we got here? We shouldn't have cleaned up so much just for little old me, Detective London. Someone really needs to introduce this guy to a filing system, or even just a stapler. Paper documents scattered about lazily, alongside actual photographs. Either he's really old-fashioned or really paranoid about data leaks. Old-fashioned, and he doesn't look like the paranoid type. Well, orderliness aside, some things are better in paper, I'll give him that. Okay. Nothing else jumps out at me around here. Got a better idea of who I'm dealing with, at least. Now I need to check out the crime scene data. I should have been sent a link. You've been granted access to state files regarding case KL433511. Reply C to confirm. Confirm. Need to reply C in order to confirm. Am I talking to a person? I am an automated dependent. Ads are usually more polite. Our personalities are tailored to suit our users' preferences. So the state likes you to be a little authoritarian. You need to reply C. C. It's case sensitive. Oh god. C. Thank you. Link.uxi/4335511. Alright, if I project my phone. Doot, doot, doot. Unity? Ooh. 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 Augmented reality crime scene. That's ARCs. Okay, this is neat. Alright, let's see what the police have. What they think is important. Stand-up mirror. Shattered and knocked over. Real glass. No screens or cameras here. Real glass. That's real glass. Cry me a river. Cry me a river, CM Punk. Hang on. Gotta screenshot this for a wrestling friend of mine. And yes, it was hit hard. Hard enough to come unattached from its arm, with shards of glass, while shards of glass were scattered, far enough to land on the victim's body. What a mess. Tweet to the devs about the accessibility. Ah! The victim's body. Oh, very cool. Cause of death, ballistic trauma, class 4 blood loss, atrium and aorta. Yeah, you have to link me to that. I want to see if they respond. Ballistic trauma, class 4 blood loss, atrium and aorta. Single gunshot wound with heart. In brief, death was instantaneous. No injuries anywhere else, and no blood or skin under her nails. Blood spatter, forensics, and all that other good stuff tells them that she was shot from there. But the killer was standing in the doorway when they fired. Murder weapon. A revolver, found right next to the body. 6 empty casings found in each of the 6 chambers, meaning the gun's been fired 6 times. Looks like the crime scene techs practically disassembled the damn thing. All they found were fingerprints belonging to my client. So he was found by the police, with the murder weapon, right in front of the body. Don't even know where to start. Highly prejudicial would be an understatement. Oh, I seem like the vase got tossed aside at some point. There's not a scratch on it. Must be pretty damn durable. Isn't art supposed to be delicate? Maybe it's making a statement. It's all the big ticket items. What about the security? Looks like the apartment was unlocked all night. Not uncommon for people their age in a neighborhood like this. No signs of forced entry, only hurts my client's case. What about the rest of the room? Not much else flagged here. Just a lounge chair that got thrown, and whatever that is. Unidentified ceramic debris? I guess irrelevant. That's their technical assessment. Let's see what the crime scene techs weren't sure what to make of it. Okay. That's everything that the police highlighted. Did I miss anything? Did I miss anything? Oh? Hello. What's this? The hell is that? Look at the victim's hand. How the hell did... Just a pill organizer. Looks like some immune adjusters, NSAIDs, and Treprexisone, a synthetic glucocorticoid medication. Taken daily to reduce rejection symptoms like phantom pain and generalized itch. Autopsy said her tox screen was clear, but it's not like it matters. She could have swallowed every medicine cabinet in the city and it would have changed the cause of death. It's odd, but ultimately irrelevant. Did you miss anything? Everything else here is all very incriminating, but the kicker is everything that's not here. How to place DNA, footprints, crumbs. I think that points toward anyone except my client. Well, I've done more with less than before. So, our evidence here. ARCS data. Okay. ARCS data, essentially the surveillance. We have done our evidence gathering. And we got a fully fleshed out crime scene investigation here. Very cool. Unexpected fingerprints, no unexpected crumbs, no unexpected DNA. Picked up a shot for the room's doorway. Digital tampering. Debris. Ceramic debris. This is a curiosity. I remember what this means, but curious that this is brought up this early. Let's see, search terms. Internet of Things. All of our digital devices linked together. The usage of crumbs. Small packets of data containing your own unique identifying information. So, as you go throughout your day-to-day lives, you leave traces behind. Traces of your data behind, which is... I mean, honestly, that's why you use Google on your phone whatsoever. Your phone comes back every month with a little Google timeline showing pretty generally where you've been throughout the month. You leave digital presence. You carry your phone anywhere you leave. This is a very logical progression and projection of the concept of internet cookies, I would say, and just the practice, which is very much true now. Like, you carry a phone with you, you leave some digital trace of you wherever you go already, but I would argue that that's why something like a Google Maps comes back every month with your Google Maps timeline, showing you precisely where you end up during the month. Pretty generally solid tracking of your travel timeline. Scary. Oh, I've done much more with less before, but not much more. I'm really gonna have to sing for my supper this time. Better get started. Who the hell's messaging me at this time of night? First person who comes to mind is... I suppose it could be something important. Red! What couldn't wait till morning? Good news, of course. Got a job for you. What? Brat. That's a pretty cheery way to tell me you violated parole. Lol, not that kind of job. Besides, I haven't covered my tracks. Is there something different? Oh? Kind of thing I can't handle with just a keyboard and phishing scheme. Need you to sue my gym teacher. Not that kind of lawyer, sorry. Hey, at least let me finish. Let me finish. What did they do? Make me run laps. Not illegal. Yeah, new character, who dis? brat. Let me finish. They made me run laps. Even though I said I had a stomachache. Said. Gotta be like youth endangerment. Depraved indifference or some kind of shit. Sounds like you already got a strong case. Try self-representing this time. Ah, yeah. What's with the blow-off? Nice phrasing. Oh, wow, I'm laughing so hard right now. See? Why are you sending me your mugshot? Is that your mugshot? I'm still gonna not get a copy of my mugshot. And use it as a reaction. Glad you found a use case. I'm working right now, so... Anything cool? Homicide. Oh, cringe. Wait, what kind of homicide? Is it HBK? Is that the kind of morbid thing your kids your age talk about? Teens my age. And yeah, we can read. Compared to the corrupt shit in the headlines. Oh, I like this kid. Old-fashioned murder is like Hardy B. Hardy B. It's like quaint. It's not heartbreak. And why'd you take the job, lol? Ooh. You see the 98% conviction rate as a challenge or something? Taking up lost cause, probe nose work. Child, it's pro bono. That was autocorrect. Right. You know they give lit homework for a reason, right? Oh, I love this kid. This is borderline concerned nagging. Maybe you really are bleeding heart. Or just a sucker. I'm not a sucker. Nice raising, lol. You should go to bed, Fran. Tomorrow's Sunday. I can stay up if I want. Tomorrow is Sunday. Because today is Saturday. What's with the carpe diem shit? It's nearly 4 a.m., kid. We've got school in like 3 hours. Shit. Repeat offenders may be good for business. That kid's bad for my blood pressure. Important text message, I take it. Just your typical teenage drama. So then, you wouldn't mind filling me in on a few details. That was a worthwhile distraction. Ooh. How about the basics? What exactly has my client been charged with? Your client, Carlos Backer Flat, was arrested on the scene at 9:50 p.m. Saturday school future sucks. Yeah, honestly. You took his middle name already. They really do think he's a serial killer. Charged being first degree of his murder of his girlfriend, Miss Diane Dawn. Flat. We haven't met him yet, so we don't see him. Criminal record, civil disturbance ×2, charges dropped. Registered at birth. Applications industrial, class 4. Pending. Do we not serve you? Hi, Raze. Bye, Raze. Oh, there. Victim, Diane Dawn. She's a 27-year-old agricultural genetics researcher for Peregrine Laboratories. And shot to the heart in the bedroom of the apartment she shares with prime suspect Carlos Flat. In Flat's flat. We're going with pun names. Diana Dawn. Oh my. I never even caught that. First degree? That's increasingly rare, to say the least. It's rare for us to get handed anything but crimes of passion around here. And he's got damn near more cameras than people. I gotta be really, really stupid to try to get away with murder. Well, Heartbreak's gotten away with it 6 times. So what's that make him? 5 times, and that makes him insane. I was gonna go with extraordinary. Let's put the difference and say he's extraordinarily insane. But nut jobs like that aren't renowned for their ability to think ahead. So it makes you think this was premeditated. How about the fact that he stalked and killed 5 other women as a warm-up? A warm-up? 5 previous bullets, 5 previous victims. None of them knew each other, lived near each other, worked in the same fields. Mix of digital autopsies crawling up and down their online profiles. Nothing. So this serial killer chose his victims at random. If they have nothing in common... Yeah, nothing in common at all. Other than that they all look like cousins. Physical similarities are striking. All 5 prior victims were young women with brown hair and eyes. Around the same height, comparable weight. While those features aren't quite uncommon, couldn't it be a coincidence? If you really believe that, you should quit your job and start buying lotto tickets. HK's got himself a type. Anyone can see that. You really gonna try and tell me you don't see the resemblance? A young woman, brown hair, brown eyes. Can't tell how tall she is from a portrait, but I can take the hint. Our killer was a type. I wonder why. Indeed. So you think, what exactly? That Carlos Flat wanted to kill his girlfriend so badly he went out and shot 5 other women first. Hey, the shoe fits? If the shoe fits, then you put the shoe on the... What Sunshine means is that it's not uncommon for killers to displace their violence on people, posted them onto outlets with fewer consequences. Drifters, loners, strangers, workers. He was probably building up the nerve for tonight by first practicing on these other similar women. Or he's just so far gone that he can't tell the difference anymore. That's not the worst theory in the world. It doesn't fit. They were to claim that those previous victims were practice runs, dress rehearsals for tonight's main event. And if that were the case, there had been signs of hesitation, nerves. There'd have been mistakes. On top of which, guns are impersonal. Execution shots even more so. There's no sadism or hatred or intimacy in a single bullet to the heart. Killing your girlfriend or her lookalikes usually is, if nothing else, a lot less sterile. If you ask me. Eh? It's a curious glitch. I saw the time of death was 9 p.m. at the autopsy. Do you have a timeline for the rest of the night's events? One of this odd behavior that just comes about from, playing in windowed mode. You saw that too, right? So the time of death was 9 p.m. on the autopsy, but do you have a timeline for the rest of the night's events? Can't trust much of what comes out of his mouth. We've managed thanks to less biased sources. We're pretty confident about what we've been able to pierce together from their statements. They interviewed witnesses. Sounds eerily similar to real police work. Oh, there's her eye in action. There's her eye in action. I love that. The suspect and his girlfriend were arguing loudly with one another starting around 8 p.m. Neighbors were very clear about that part. Couldn't wait to tell us all about the happy couple's domestic problems. Everyone in the building knew they'd been fighting for weeks. As you probably gathered from what you saw in the arcs, there was a struggle. Furniture turned over, glass shattered. But things go quiet sometime before 9 p.m. And then there's a gunshot. Scrubbers are still scrubbing, looking for audio from the area to get a timestamp. We heard from enough concerned citizens to be pretty damn sure about the time. Right. Emergency services got a burst of calls for the block shortly after 9 p.m. Scrubbing, of course, meaning scrubbing all of the any and all relevant footage from the surrounding area, looking for any potential relevant movement that can be used as evidence. No one seemed to recognize the sound for what it was. The silence that followed was pretty universally alarming. Officers arrive on the street at 9:08 p.m., establish a perimeter, enter the open front door at 9:10 p.m., then they find your client crouched over his dead girlfriend, his hand covered in her blood, at which point they move to secure the scene and the suspect. Sorry, did you say his hand, singular? Your client's modded. The cybernetic right arm. How modded are we talking about here? Ooh. It should register with a HOW 85 habilis. Industrial grade, looks like. As he spec'd for dexterous manipulation of up to class 4 KPA, which means minimum grip strength of, well, basically, could crush your neck without even gritting his teeth. Oh, that's even more ominous with considering a career change. No, it's not that. It's just your eye must be very sensitive for you to put the patch back on each time. And here I thought you just had a 14-year-old sense of fashion. I love that expression of Reyes. It just makes her look like it. That is her sad puppy look. You think a cop would cover up her dominant eye because it was fashionable? I actually thought the same thing first time we met. You what? Getting back on track. That arm of his has been in the shop for some time now. You can't work without it. Money got tight. They arguing. Yeah. When did he put his arm in for repairs? 8 days before HK's first victim was killed. Well, no chance they'll be willing to chalk that up to coincidence. Your client was arrested on the scene after a preliminary scan found his fingerprints on the revolver. And no one else's. A revolver? What kind? Poor Reyes. Yeah, honestly. Especially considering the possibility that she replaced her dominant eye with a mod to use purely for detective work. Purely to get ahead in this line of work specifically. And now she's shunted off here. Revolver? What kind? The old kind. The real old kind. More specifically, a Calver M54, 6-chambered, 10mm. Calver? How retro. You don't know the half of it. We're talking steel chamber, real gunpowder, mechanical firing pin. And no tags. No tags? How is that? Just what are we talking here? Yeah. 24/7 location data, timestamp trigger pulse, safety is coded to owner biometrics. Free guns of the Patriots. I wish this would flag evidence that we haven't actually opened to look at yet. Revolver. Calver. Fingerprints matching Carlos Baker flats left hand with 99.91% certainty. Rifling marks match with 99.97% certainty. Rifling marks, as we know, are the fingerprints of the gun. As far back as 2051. Oh, right. I remember this Calver. It's also, ironically, a very stark telling of just the corporate absorption. My internet appears to have given up. Oh no! I will bonk your internet. That is quite mean of your internet. Yeah. Calver bought out by Thortec Acquisitions Group. And Thortec, now a subsidiary of Lockcoon Defense Corporation. So, good to see that in the near future, the whole corporate umbrella absorption effect continues onward. No guns have borne the Calver branding since production halted in 2016. brand was briefly revived in 2071 Q2 with a series of video game memorabilia tie-in promotions meant to increase in-game item sales. Good to see loot boxes are still a thing, too. Good to see. For the past 3 decades, tags have made shooting crimes very unambiguous. So you're claiming my client used some kind of antique to commit these crimes. How else do you think he'd have gotten away with this 5 other times? If he tried to buy a gun legit, he'd probably fail the very first psych check. And even jailbroken pieces are only good for so long before update withdrawal sets in. So then, M54, that's model year 2054. A 30-year-old gun. Well, that sure complicates things, doesn't it? In some ways, sure. But pre-tagging firearms are rare. Gotta be less than 1,000 of them left in the whole country, and fewer still compatible bullets. The ammunition would have to be over 30 years old, too. The novelty of his weapon has kept us in the dark so far. We're so back! Yeah, welcome back. Now that we have our hands on it, it's gonna put him away for good. Oh? Archive department complained loud as hell about how deep they had to dig. With protocols they found, the techs were able to match the rifling marks on all 6 bullets to the gun your client was found with. Yes, the rifling! The fingerprints of the gun! We're not Jover, we're so Jack! Rifling marks? Bullets fired from guns that old are marked by the barrel shape. So if all 6 bullets had the same rifling marks, you know that they were all fired by the same gun. It's not as plug and play as tags are, but it's equally precise science, I assure you. If that's not damning enough, the spent casings from the other 5 shootings were still in the chamber. Without even needing to reload. The Calvier client was found with the gun HK used to kill 6 women. No way to lawyer around that. Untagged gun. Just being anywhere near a weapon like that could warrant your arrest. Being found by the police over a dead body with an untagged gun used to fight for the crime scenes is just... To summarize, then, you believe that my client fought verbally, then physically with his girlfriend. Then he retrieved this weapon and shot her. Yeah, pretty much. How did he look when the officers found him? Guilty. How was his affect? Quiet? Detached? Stiff? Not exactly the picture of a grieving partner. That reaction may have lost him points with the cops, but beyond that, people react to loss in all kinds of unusual ways. As long as the police are suspicious of you, there's no right way to grieve. Kind of funny how much secondhand forensics and precise science rifling bikes would drive my girlfriend insane. Ballistic markings are basically only good enough to match type of gun in reality, not exact weapon. Yeah, I'd imagine that... Yeah, that definitely makes sense. By the way, I could have noticed that you're light on staff. It's 3 in the morning. Were you expecting a parade? There'd be at least a few androids around. Aren't many androids in any police stations this week. Not while the brass is renegotiating contracts. Contracts with Noble? Good guess. Hardly, they're the biggest robotics corp there. Could spend all day in Center City without leaving their office's shadow. Yes, we're very fortunate to have them headquartered here. Save us some money on shipping, at least. These talks never last that long. I'm sure they'll be back to writing checks for Noble ads by the end of the month. Here with Noble pushing those warm androids. Warm. Yeah. Might as well call it the adult line. Might seem the bigger departments are out on patrol, but not around these offices. Warm or cold, there's no such thing as an android detective. Yet. Yet? Really? Yet? You really think that'll happen? We already use ads for patrolling, securing the scene, pacifying crowds. Doesn't seem like that big a stretch to me. You're joking, right? Android detectives? All the pain we go through getting witnesses to talk to us? With your warm personality? I can't imagine. A cop knocks on your door, starts asking questions, you're gonna be put in a bad mood. An ad knocks on your door, calls you a An ad knocks on your door, calls you a degenerate criminal in a synthesized voice loud enough for the whole neighborhood to hear. You're gonna start posting shit that'll get you put on a list. Well, we certainly don't want that. Flesh and blood witnesses are becoming less and less common anyways. Cameras, sensors, satellites, we already get all our facts from machines. Give it a few more years, it might make sense to let machines do the investigating, too. The union would. The police union wouldn't let that happen. Criminal scum, please respond. She needn't have specified. It's the only real union there is anymore. Huh. Yeah. Yeah, it's very much like the easy fictional justification you can extend to move your plot along. It definitely makes sense that it's not nearly as exact as it is portrayed as in crime shows and fiction in general, but yeah, it's at that point it just becomes a plot device to move things forward. I'm checking my phone here, and I have to say, you've done a pretty admirable job keeping the details of HK's crimes a secret. The less reputable sites are doing some real journalistic acrobatics, trying to pierce together a story. The worst union was the last one standing, huh? Go figure. Local police union, too spiteful and full of hate to die. Oh, hey there. It looks like you're trying to search for a term related to an ongoing investigation until authorities have made their findings public. Results may be heavily curated or temporarily unavailable. Read more about how we cooperate with authorities to combat disinformation here. Yeah, top 11 theories on who hurt HK was a real weighty read. Where's my best YouTuber voice? Top 11 theories on who hurt HK. Number 1. Number 4. It said in high school, HK was bullied by their gym teacher. Oh, really? It's not just journalists, though. All kinds have been emboldened. What can we... Let's take a look at that. Slight diversion here. It does make a solid difference. That makes a pretty solid difference. Yeah. The opacity could definitely be tuned up to that level at least as a default. You could probably get away with that, I reckon. I was gonna say. It looks... Yeah, definitely the increased opacity looks better to my eyes, but does it look better to yours? The freaks that HK's managed to bring out of the woodwork in just a few weeks. Can you blame them, though? I mean, he's a genuine serial killer. Repeat offenders in general are endangered species, but he's gotten away with... We know what he's gotten away with. Take a look around us, Detective. National DNA Registry is robust enough that cases never go cold. Cameras on every street, a phone on every citizen. Violent crime at an all-time low and clearance rates at an all-time highs. But you gotta spout some alt-pull bullshit about invasion of privacy. Motion was also a bit of an issue. It's hard to tell in the screenshot. That's also fair. No, I'm not. People are safer now than any other time in history, detectives. When someone like Heartbreak does come along. Good point. London's trying to look like he can laugh it off. But pressure from the high roads must be reaching its peak. They want, maybe need to see someone charged, and that makes them predictable. Yeah, well... If there's nothing standard about HK. Department SOP still dictates we starve the media for case details. That way, when we do feed them, they're grateful for whatever scraps they get. We can't take all the credit this time around. Homicide's tight-knit and tight-lipped, but it's not like there's much information for us to leak in the first place. And why's that? Because none of the shootings were caught on the opt-in crime surveillance system. That's optics, yes. And this is the, Smart UI. Public surveillance, private partners. Linking together all the visual data you capture to one big central system. Frequently cited in state reports as one of the most effective tools for reducing crime. Footage from optics often serves as key evidence in criminal proceedings, but is considered admissible by default. People versus Iran. Users also frequently searched for public safety measures in my area. Daily security level. How is that even possible? I know that there are some rough areas in the lower wards, but optics is watching every other street in the entire city. You're saying you haven't seen this killer on camera once. You think we'd have let him kill 6 people if we did? I understand your concern, ma'am, but optics is what it says in the name. Private surveillance systems sign up to feed into the state's security network. It's not perfect. Just another one of the many public safety tools in our belt. It's not meant to be perfect, it's meant to help us solve crimes. Or at least act as a deterrent. One would hope so. Fat chance. Deterrents are for war rooms and board meetings. Anyone crazy or desperate enough to commit a crime in a city like this couldn't care less about anything as vague as the consequences of their actions. It's like a security blanket, one with very few holes left in it. But it does have holes. Patching up those remaining holes takes effort, and that effort usually means rebooting the system. There's all kinds of technical details and digital bureaucracy involved. But the end result is that there are occasional, localized blackouts. The math used to schedule them is not impossible to predict. I see. Those windows of opportunity are small and short. Taking advantage of them requires specific knowledge. You need to be involved in law enforcement, pub data, or city planning. They'd have mentioned it if my client was a cop. And he wouldn't have needed a public defender either. This file says he's modded for every mass manipulation. Not tech interfacing, that just leaves city planning. So does he work construction for the city? HK's only ever struck at times and locations where optics would be down. Even with the devil's own luck. Can't possibly be coincidence. Wait, so you're saying when this woman was killed? Yeah, there was a blackout from around 8 to 9 tonight. Right on schedule, so to speak. It included the area surrounding the victim's apartment. What about DNA from the other crime scenes? Was my client a match? There's been no blood, no saliva, no suspect DNA at any of the crime scenes. No footage and no forensics. Also no motives, tampering, or witnesses. It's been like hunting a damn ghost. We didn't even have a murder weapon. Until now. Finally, a lucky break for the boys in blue. Scanners, cams, drones, forensics. No matter how we dress it up with tech, all detective work relies on one basic assumption. People make mistakes. But HK's the kind of monster who doesn't make mistakes. The only reason we even caught him tonight was because he finished what he had set out to do all along. So, was my client on the list of suspects before tonight? Weren't you listening? There was no list of suspects. Oh. Questioned some X's, a few CIs. Someone even spoke to one or two unlisted at some point. Nothing came of it. There was talk about starting on some kind of psych eval or something. I never expected much to come of that. There's just not enough there to work with. In other words, the only thing they have, the only thing they could have to link my client to those killings is the murder weapon. I can jostle that keystone and the rest of their case should start to come loose as well. Thanks for the chat, detectives. I think I understand the background well enough now. Candidly, I see the same strokes you do, and the picture it paints isn't pleasant. Even so, it seems a bit unrefined to be brought before a judge, don't you think? Hey, it's only our job to catch the bastard. The DA's the one who gets the conviction. Besides, we're not exactly going to have to work hard to convince anyone of his guilt. And why is that? Because we found a handwritten confession at his desk. Oh. Well. That's, unexpected. I'm sorry. You're now telling me that he wrote a confession? Has it been verified? Not yet. We have to muscle past everyone in fraud and disinfo to get to the front of that line. Why bother if the note's covered in his fingerprints? It's a copy of the discovery data, but I should warn you, it doesn't exactly make for light reading. I'll spend somehow. I need to see this confession for myself. Oh, there we go. Sorry for everything. Can't say enough. Didn't mean to hurt you or do what I did. Did not. Sick. Won't leave it to happen. Can't say in control when I get mad. I'm not in control. I hurt people without meaning to. Wish I hadn't broken them. Didn't mean to at all. I was hurting. Wanted you to hurt too, but didn't want to hurt you. Words aren't enough. I know that now. Take responsibility and do what I've been avoiding. Please forgive me. Curious. That was difficult to read. Barely legible, in fact. Well, got a spin on that. No need. But his confession. Not a confession that he signed now, is it? Not yet. And not one he intends to sign anytime soon, considering that he asked for representation. Yeah, the most wanted man in the city asked for a lawyer. And got you. Spug. Guess you're both lucky. Hardly. I just happened to be awake when the call went out. But I'm not so flush with work that I can afford to turn tail now. So, if you don't mind, I'd like to go and speak with my client. What? He's not still handcuffed in there, is he? Look, Counselor, with all due respect, we have, strong evidence pointing to that man being responsible for 6 murders. 2 hours or so in cuffs isn't cruel or unusual. And that's for your safety as well. It's kind of you to worry, but I don't think I'll be in any danger. He's killed 6 women. None of them are redheads. Seriously, though, I'd like to speak with him alone now. Camera's off, if you don't mind. Mic's on or off is your call, Counselor. We'll be watching the feed from right outside in case anything happens. And the cuffs, the cuff, that is, stays on. That worried about me. How chivalrous. Yeah, my armor's practically blinding. Gross. I'll start the unlock cycle. Gotta call it night. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Have a good night, dog. Take care. Stay frosty. Counselor, just one last word of advice. If you have any interest in his well-being, I suggest you help him sign that confession. Not a bad idea. I do get paid either way. But the defense part of the defense attorney isn't just for show, detective. I mean it. 6 people dead is one thing. He's also caused weeks of widespread terror and public unrest. Putting it another way, he's made the state look bad. And that's not good. That's a capital crime if there ever was one. Even if the death penalty's not actually on the table these days, it guarantees he's not going to like whatever rehabilitation plan they draw up for him. Look, I've seen the virtual work release program in person, and it's, allusions to heterosexuality. Gross! Being challenged before the Supreme Court. Yeah, sometime in the next decade, maybe. Just remember, a plea deal might feel like a loss for you, but if it keeps him from, well, it's probably a win for your client, right? Prison sentences are generally lighter for those who plead guilty, that much is true. It saves the courts a great deal of time and money. They show their gratitude with reduced sentencing, but no one will ever be grateful toward the heartbreak killer. Anyone convicted for killing 6 people. They'll never rest their mind another day in their life. There we are. There's the boy. Virtual work release. Oh, due to ongoing controversy following the suspected suicide of inmate Jay Galley. Results are temporarily blocked. Yeah, so we're not going to touch that. That's pretty fucked. There's the boy. It's depressing as hell in here. Whoa. I need to liven this place up. Dramatic entrance. Carlos flat, right? Hope you don't mind if I get comfortable. We've got a lot to cover. But this shouldn't take all night. What do you... look, I already told you people I didn't... Not a cop, Carlos. Furthest thing from it. I'm a lawyer. Your lawyer, in fact. I'm here to help you. Yeah, well... I said that too. All of them did. Back there, in here. Kept repeating it the whole ride over. I said that they were going to help me. They knew this was all a mistake. And they said that I killed. Acting like they were on my side, and they thought that I could have... That I... It's not their job to help you, Carlos. But it is mine. I'm here now. Still in shock. Need more information. If I approach this the wrong way, he'll just climb up even more. I'm sure you're exhausted. It's probably difficult to think, let alone speak. I'd like you to try and answer a few questions. The police already questioned you, I'm sure. But they were treating you as a suspect, not as a client. Okay. So what do you want to know? Alright, let's start simple. Something mundane, grounded. Wrote. I'd like to know a bit more about you first, Carlos. Something like, what line of work are you in? With city engineering. Or I was, or I should be. As I thought. The police must be convinced that he mapped the optics blackouts using data he stole from work. My arm, I got it slotted for the job. And, Carlos, I need more than that. So what do I know? He works in city engineering, not a desk job. Reyes said he was modded for work, and that arm must be in custody at the moment. Based on its shoulder, he'd have to be pretty, utilitarian. Applications industrial. Utilitarian, yeah. Doesn't strike me as the type who's enamored with the aesthetics of modding. The young and the restless and the rich swapping neon and chrome limbs because they like the way it looks. Or the way it makes other people start looking at them. No, he's pragmatic, grounded, and very unlucky. In which case, I should be too. My brother wanted to mod. Really? Really? I don't even have a brother. He had everything planned out. a whole career path of promotions and bonuses and not the upgrades they'd afford him. Then came his 18th birthday present, and test results blithely informing him that he's not a viable candidate. That sucks. I think he felt relieved, actually. Seemed like it was a weight off his chest. Like he was glad that he didn't have to choose. Does that make any sense? Yeah, I think it does. Being a friendly, relatable type, I always figured that if I'd start at all, I'd start small. Hand or an eye, test the water. Never thought about lobbing my whole damn arm off, but the recruiter was, enthusiastic. Said, because the NCDA, they were financial aid and, resources. Of course, I got shit canned, and me and every other modder is royally screwed. Couldn't even let me keep the tax credit. The New Citizens with Disabilities Act was amended, not repealed. I doubt he'd appreciate the distinction at this moment. Yeah, government benefits got completely fucked over by big government. Shocking. Leaving the little guy out to dry. Work the tighter spaces, the high-volt environments, and most of the canopy upkeep. Typical stuff for modders, you know? Speaking freely now. Don't need to do much more than repeat his words back to him to keep him talking. The right word choice here or there can still make a difference. Look at the canopy. Must be, oh, under a lot of pressure. Must be under a lot of pressure now that the subways are cordoned off. I'm straight. This crap is long. Once word got out that the case against him was real, every desk job in the chain became terrified of their own shadow. All of them convinced that internal affairs is going to come knocking if they misplace so much as a paperclip. Everything by the book means no room for compromise, no room for problem solving, no room for engineering. Yeah. And no patience for screw-ups. He's trying very hard not to look at his shoulder. Why don't you wear your prosthetic right now, Carlos? Yeah, that. Rejection issues starting last month. A lot of sleepless nights. Rejection? Did the therapy not take? It's not like that. I wasn't oozing pus out of my sockets or anything. Then do these rejection issues have anything to do with your scars? Not in the way you're thinking. I'm right-handed. Those cuts on his face are just from shaving. Never thought this would go on so long. I have to relearn how to do everything. I mean, the problem started small, trembling, and spasms. Just oversensitivity, they said. An easy fix. But the problem got bigger. Couldn't let it get that far. You'd be able to trust your own hands when you're on the job site. Drop a cutter at the wrong moment, and people could get hurt. I sat down, made an appointment, turned in my arm, watched my case get placed at the back of the damn line. Why'd you turn it in? Some mass turnaround shop with a waiting list like you wouldn't. Doesn't sound like you're a happy customer. Hell no. I've had a dozen other clinics with shorter wait times. As long as I'm renting and not owning. The manufacturer decides where your arm gets maintenance. That's why I'm sitting here with this expensive-ass stump for a shoulder. I haven't been able to work in weeks. Bosses were generous enough to say that my position might still be there when I've got 2 working arms again. You couldn't buy or rent a replacement yourself just in the meantime. I serve at the pleasure of the state, and they've got exclusivity contracts with Hindi, all locked up white-knuckle tight. Hindi? How Industries? Let's recall he's registered with one of their hapless models. Easy for me to say. Hapless models. I took one step on site with an uninsured tech. Forget the fines, I'd lose the down payment and my arm. I'd never work in this city again. If this was last quarter, maybe I could have worked something out with management, but, like I said, no one's sticking their neck out for anyone now that longs in hot shit. You mentioned discomfort. Oh, do we get a profile update on... We did. Luck, poor. Student debt, sizable. Favorite flower, Bobby. Dislikes cashews. Ah. Hey, Indy. How Industries, the world's leader in research, development, manufacturing, and fitting of cybernetic prosthetics. And we're hiring. Ah. Not interested in sponsored research results? See further with a premium account. Let's say... Yeah, dislikes. Cabs, musicals, cashews. Curious. Mention discomfort. Are you in pain? Pain will come and go. It's the itches that'll kill you. The phantoms come back pretty fast when I don't have anything. Arm shaped attached to me. Didn't they give you something to, well, wear in the meantime? Something the clinics lend out for cases like this. Gave me is a dead weight, 3-jointed landfill bait piece of shit. Sorry, it's just, it's a very shitty feeling. Having a part of your body like that, yet that you know they cut corners on. Whenever Yugu wants to take Hindi home with her. How? Oh gosh, I miss her. It fits, it's compatible. Technically, I can slot it in and feel on balance again. The fingers don't even bend and the quick twitch motors are way off. It's like walking around with your arm asleep, or dead. So were you wearing it when, when you were arrested? You were wearing it when you were arrested? No, I wasn't. I'm pretty sure I saw the police bagging it as evidence, so... Can't have gotten too far. So Detective Reyes was being quite literal about how it was found. Yeah, the victim's blood on his left arm, only... because at the time in question, he didn't even have a right. No inconsistencies in the story so far, and he's opened up about as well as can be expected. This has all just been a warm-up, for the both of us. Now comes the delicate part. Okay, these jump scare moments are quite, chilling. Carlos, you and the victim were romantically involved. How long did you two know each other? Right. I've known her since college. We shared a few classes, some mutual friends. Always got along. Eventually we just got together at some point. Guess I never actually asked her out the real formal way. Sounds pretty cowardly saying that out loud. Diane, she was in genetics. Focused her studies on agriculture. It always takes them a few tries to get used to using past tense. Just finished her post-grad work this year. Got hired right out of the gate. Practically headhunted. You believe that? Practically headhunted. Of course she was. Any company'd be lucky to have her, unlike, it was a real-ass job. Paid real-ass money, too. So her career was starting to pan out. Right as yours had fallen into the mother of all slumps. Where was she hired? Pedigree? No. Perigee Laboratories. I say that like the name matters. The whole setup's under Harco's umbrella. But as that doesn't narrow it down, the Harvest Corporation grows 1/3 of the soybeans and corn in the entire country. One client that size, the lab wouldn't need any others. Now, no corporation earns the mega prefix without a little throat cutting, but Harco is about as unsexy as big business can get. Predictable like the seasons. No one's gonna buy that they had some lab tech murdered because of corporate greed. Oh, the wonders of big business when you're so insignificant that you can't even be killed off. Had she adjusted well to her new job? Yeah, they loved having her there. She never mentioned arguments or disputes. Corporate policy is getting rough. Do you have any idea how little that narrows it down, Flat? She never mentioned that arguments or disputes. Corporate policy is getting rough? I don't think so. I don't think I've been a good listener lately. Never got the impression that she, Look, no one I know could do this to her. There's nothing she could have done that would deserve what happened to her. It's a long shot. It was a long shot, hoping for a disgruntled character from her past to shift blame onto. With no other suspects, I can't just reshuffle the detective's suspicions. I'll have to disprove their argument entirely. Thank you, Carlos. That was very helpful. It was? Now I'd like you to try and tell me whatever you can about what happened tonight. Start at the beginning and take your time. Details are important. All right, Miss Morgan. I'll try, Morgan. When you're ready. We were arguing. We've been arguing a lot lately. Arguing about stupid stuff. I haven't been working. I haven't been making money. I like these little stylized colored shots. I haven't been pulling my weight. Was mad at myself. More than that, I was jealous of her. Jealous over nothing. Jealous of her goddamn money. Reports say you were arguing around 8 p.m. 8? Yeah, it must have been when we started. We got into it and I said a lot of things that I shouldn't have. I said one thing that I really, really shouldn't have. Crossed the line, we both knew it, so I left. You left? Yeah. Walked out the front door. Thought some fresh air might help cool me off. Help me figure out what to say to make it up to her. Of course, the air wasn't fresh, just humid. Thick like mud. While I was pissing away at the time, Diane was, Did you bring your phone with you? Or any other electronics? No. Kinda stormed off. Didn't even take my key fobs. Didn't even lock the door behind me. With optics down, traffic and street-level cameras won't help him. And leaves. Did you go through a checkpoint or talk to anyone with modded eyes? Did you buy anything? Cash or credit? No, not even a vending machine. Not even a damn vending machine, huh? I may have met my match. Can anyone be this unlucky? That's quite unfortunate. I just wanted quiet at that time. Wanted to wallow in it, really. Sorry if I don't have all the details quite right. My head is... But if my exact route would help, then... Right. Sorry, the cam's probably... What is it? Optics was what? Can that even happen? There's no other proof that you were out at the time Diane was killed. And you've got no alibi. It's not like he was expecting this. Yeah, that's true. But like... The point of that being that this world is so interwoven with eyes and security and digital traces that to go out for any period of time and not appear on any of that is supremely unlucky in this instance, since Flat appearing on any possible feed that they could pull up and reference would alibi him for his girlfriend's murder, his wife's. Listen, I didn't do this. I couldn't. Carlos. Oh, she's giving you the look. I'm the one person you don't have to try and convince. After all, I'm your lawyer. Let's get it all out there and see what we've got to work with. Right. Now, you said you left to clear your head. So what made you come back? I came back because I heard a noise. A loud noise. Didn't know what it was. It was loud and it scared me. and I came from the direction of our apartment. I was walking back at first. At some point, I must have started running because when I got back, I was so out of breath. When I saw that the front door was open, something dropped in my chest and my lungs would... You live on the first floor, right? Yeah, a first floor apartment, street-facing entrance. We were proud of that when we first moved in. Like it was some kind of big deal. In the hallway I saw her, but I didn't realize. Never thought that she was... Lights were off, the whole room was a mess. Thought we had been robbed or she had fallen or... There's broken glass, furniture knocked over. And she was... I called her name and she didn't move. I checked her pulse and she was still warm. Her blood was warm. And I saw... the gun. It looked so heavy, but I thought it had to be fake because... So I didn't want it to be real. Is that why you picked it up? What? Pick it up? I didn't touch that thing. I didn't shoot her, damn it. Doing what I do, you hear a lot of lies. White lies, blatant lies, hasty lies. Bad lies, especially. For me, it's always been easy to spot a lie. But it can be hard to know what to do about it. I freaking love this. I freaking love the addition of those dramatic jump scare shots. I have all the proof I need in my files, but he's nervous and defensive. None of this works if he doesn't trust me. Ooh. You just have your evidence by checking your phone. For client notes you don't know what you're talking about. They'll stop giving you any credit. Ah. I did touch... Yep, bears fingerprints. Make that just a fact because of your prints. The fact that your fingerprints are on that gun. Well, what? But I didn't do this. I wasn't thinking. I just... Carlos, all I'm saying is that you picked it up. That's all. Would you believe me if I said I didn't realize it was a gun? That explains how his prints got on the gun. Not in a way that would satisfy the police. Still, if all he did was hold the gun... It's so stupid, I know what a gun looks like. But seeing it in my own home, right in front of... You were in shock, Carlos. You still are. The police came in sometime after that. I don't remember much of what they said. Things started moving fast, it seemed like. The rest of my night went probably the way you'd expect. Carlos, you admit to having a verbal argument with Diane. But you said you were surprised to see the room trashed when you got back. To clarify, you're saying that you two never had a physical fight. What? Physical? I never fought. I never fought like that. Did the police say that we did? They assumed as much. Which means they also assumed the room was disheveled well before the shooting occurred. Considering what Carlos has told me, what else did they assume? What can we... Oh, what is it? I'd like you to take a look at something for me. The crime scene. Oh. It's an AR module built from data taken as the police had entered, so... Right, it's just that... just data, Carlos. No grisly details. Okay, let me see it. Take your time. Alright, I think I got it. That's how the police found things. Now close your eyes and think back to how the room looked when you left. Try and focus on what's out of place. Alright. I'll take notes, and you just say whatever comes to mind. I don't remember exactly where everything was. But, well, the mirror was upright, of course. The clock was still on the wall. A chair got knocked over at some point, and the bed got tossed, the cushions torn, and the urn fell. Other than that... no, sorry. That's all that stands out to me. I see. Like so? Beautiful. 10 out of 10. Masterpiece. What's wrong? Something out of place? Carlos, you need to trust your instinct. If anything seems off, don't be afraid to speak up. She's sparkling. She's so proud. She doesn't see it. It's beautiful. Don't question it. Guess I just assumed your notes would be making edits to the AR? Well, I suppose that works too. Sorry, I didn't mean... I think your drawing was pretty good, considering. I'd like to change the subject now, Carlos. Right. Let's talk about the letter that was found on your desk. Letter? What do you mean? I mean this letter here. Do you recognize it? Because the police are calling it a confession. A confession? But this is just a note to self. Pardon? Look, when we fight, I lose my temper. I say things I don't mean to. So this morning, I tried writing things down so I'd have a script to stick to. So I could apologize to her instead of just fighting with her. Carlos, you say in the note that you hurt them. That's... I broke her fidget tubbies. Her what? What? Her fidget tubbies. There they are. They're delectable ceramic character things. They're supposed to be like tactile. You use them as paperweights or conversation starters. Conversation starters? She loves those little things. They're not worth a damn. You can buy them at any flea market or garage sale, but they meant a lot to her. I broke them. Explains the unknown object, indeed. That's the, I was pissy at the time, but... Where's the things? Debris? Yes. These are the broken, fidget tubbies. Limited time, get a fidget tubby and an Odoroki Man chocolate. That goddamn piece of shit rental arm, I hardly know where I'm swinging it half the time. Got so angry I just ripped it off and tossed it in my room. Cheap, dusty, worthless. Okay. Let's just say he did break her frigid duckies with his replacement arm. Uptight. Close the wall, check it knocked over, pick out toss, it's torn. Oh, there's the trolling. There it is. Beautiful art. Fidget tubbies. There they are. Evidently an acquired taste. We get fidget tubbies in here. The fidget duckies got borked. What does that change? Nothing at the moment. There's not enough detail in the note for me to prove what his intent was when he sat down to write it. But if the police insist on claiming it's a confession for the heartbreak killings anyways... Mother and I made some meatloaf. Ooh! Meatloaf. Couldn't even bother to sweep them up. I felt so, Alright, Carlos. Thanks for answering my questions. God, it's been a while since I've made meatloaf. I always wonder how many other what's like the standard way for making meatloaf. Is your family the type who does it in a pan and does like a ketchup and sugar on top of it, just a glaze on top of the meatloaf. That kind of meatloaf, or more just a gravy, mashed potatoes type. Like those are the two big camps of meatloaf that I'm familiar with. I'm gonna call the police back in here, and I'm gonna get this cleared up for you. We got a case to solve. What? That's it? That's it? Oh, okay. Use the red sauce? Nice. Good deal. That's the way to do it. Although, before I do that, I do have to ask, what do you know about the Heartbreak Killer? Oof! Heartbreak? You mean that psycho was trending all month? As much as anyone, I guess. Haven't been getting out much, but I'm sure everyone's on edge. Guy like that out there. He shoots people. Through the heart, right? The police kept the victim's appearances far away from any upstanding news sources. So unless he was already following the murders, Carlos wouldn't notice any resemblance to his girlfriend. I mean, she was shot in the chest. That's just... I'm a vegan. Never had meatloaf in your life, but you're a vegan, so that explains it. No more needs said in that department. Like, it's straight in the name, that's automatically a no-go for you. Understandable. He's shot in the chest. That's just... doesn't mean anything, does it? If he's this slow on the uptake, it's gonna be a real shock when those officers walk in here and accuse him of being a serial killer. Let's have to squash that theory as quickly and definitively as possible. Showdown time. I didn't realize you could smoke in here. We could try and make a meatloaf. I mean, Technically, I can smoke wherever I want. The smoke in the coffee. Girl, your coffee is on fire. That is questionable coffee you've got there. See, I'm of the mind, when it comes to, like, stuff like that, I'm less on board with the, like, Beyond Meat and whatnot. Like, if I'm going for something that's sandwich-like but not meat, I'd rather go for like a black bean patty, that sort of veggie patty, rather than going for Beyond Meat and the like. I much prefer the like black bean rice veggie based patty over the Beyond Meat. That's just my personal preference. Or at least that's just my personal experience in that regard. For a fee. Smoking in a non-smoking area. I guess so. Okay, that's the silliest use of that shock effect. Don't mind Beyond Meat. Don't mind Beyond Meat kind of things. They're actually pretty good these days, huh? I'll have to give it another try sometime then. Nervous? Don't be. I'm the one who's on the clock. Right. I'm sure this isn't your first time doing this. No, of course not. It will be my first homicide defense, though. Oh. Why does everyone think the first time's so goddamn important? Hey, cheer up. I've got relevant experience in other areas. Oh. And, what areas are those? You ever gamble, Carlos? No, ma'am, I never go anywhere near loot boxes. Won't touch the stuff. Smart man. Mean more like playing cards. Oh. Well then, no to that, too. I've actually got pretty terrible luck. You don't say. Could have fooled me. What I do is a lot like poker, Carlos. Poker's nice because even if you're dealt nothing but crap all night long, you can still win. Which makes things pretty fun. Okay, so, do you have a good poker face? I like to think so. And are you lucky? Only when the stakes are high. And in this metaphor, we're playing poker. The state's the dealer? If only. No, the state's more like the house. I mean, like, the house always wins. Yes, they're very good at it. Winning, I mean. That's why they're up there and we're down here. That's why they're the house. So what do? We play the cards we're dealt as best we can. Win more hands than we lose. Keep it up and eventually someone will come over and tap the dealer on the shoulder and whisper something in their ear. And then we'll be politely asked to leave. That doesn't sound very triumphant. The house always wins. So our definition of victory is more like, don't lose. Thanks, Morgan. I like this. I like the way you're using that metaphor in this world. I guess I was more or less asking, like, what should I say? Just leave all the talking to me. So that's the strategy. What's up? There's a saying about gamblers with strategies. Yo! Ready to confess yet? Because I already woke up the DA. Already? She must be new. District attorneys have final say for whether or not a case is brought to trial. Only fair since they're the ones who, end up having to actually prove the damn thing. Most of them prefer a simple guilty plea over long, protracted trials, and they all dislike having their time wasted. Unfortunate then that you have to call them back, because my client is not guilty. Poker's safer than Mahjong, to judge by the videos I see on your channel. I mean, yeah. If we're playing normal Mahjong, it's a toss-up. If we're playing human Mahjong, we're gonna be throwing a lot of naked dudes to the flames. Frankly, I'm not even sure you have enough to hold him here. Right. Let me do the talking. What she said. You've got a weird sense of humor, counselor. Different generations, I suppose. For my time kind of thing. Raised, did you just okay boomer us? I'm very serious when it comes to defending a man's innocence, detective. I mean, chest looks more like up Don's alley. I could get down for that. Counselor, we have your client's written confession. His written confession? Let's start there. Okay. We'll be happy to. The thrust of the argument starts with the facts. What's already known and agreed upon. Like knowledge for every player at the table. Pretty simple, counselor. Real paint-by-numbers stuff. Oh, here we go. See, we found a note in his apartment. Alright. There's the house's cards. With his fingerprints on it. Give the time period, it's more like, okay, Zoomer. Yeah. Okay. Apologizing for how we hurt them all so bad. Now how do you plan on spinning that? Those are the facts. I've been building up my hand all night. And now I've got the weapons to answer anything they try and throw at me. Well, my client did write that note, and it was an apology. But not for murder. He was apologizing for... Alright. Analyze the facts that are laid out, then thumb through your responses with your hand. Drag and drop the card that best answers the argument on the right. Mouse over your opponent for a reminder of what the key point is. He wrote a confession. Ah. Wrote a weapon. Okay, this is a neat effect. Flat's fingerprints. He was simply apologizing for this. The hell is that? I found myself asking that exact same question. What are we looking at here? Something from the crime scene? This diagram of the room, it's created from data you captured, right? Pure non-GMO augmented reality crime scene data, yeah. What's non-GMO? Not much these days. Notice anything out of place? Yeah, the whole room is full of busted shit. It's the scene of a murder. Full of busted shit. Full of busted shit, for sure. Hey, what's this ghost trick music? I dig it, though. I was more referring to the unidentified ceramic debris found on the western side of the room. The hell is that? Ceramic debris, huh? Must be from the vase that got tossed. Actually, that's not possible. Oh? Because that vase wasn't damaged. It's not possible for that debris to have come from the vase. Because that vase is still pristine. How is that? How is that possible? Oh. Lady, the garage sale told me it was so old and delicate. Damn it. One time I tried and thrift shop on my own. Well, so what? What does it even matter? If the vase doesn't have a scratch on it, then the debris must have come from somewhere else. That debris is what my client wrote that apology over. You're saying that confession was his apology for not vacuuming? I am. Because that pile of rubble is all that remains of the victim's collection of Fidget tubbies. What he said. Mr. Flat broke the victim's ceramic figures by accident. And this impassioned note to self was just his attempt at scribbling out an apology. Can you prove that? We're taking this seriously? As much as I wish we weren't. Ooh, we're all in agreement that our client wrote that note. We can all plainly see that there's ceramic debris at the crime scene. That since it couldn't have come from the vase, it must have come from the collectibles. Alright. Simple, right? The hell are you on about? The entire room was trashed, as the arts clearly shows. Those fidget tubbies must have gotten pulverized during the struggle, too. You really gonna claim he sat down to write an apology for breaking her toys after gunning her down? Not a bad train of thought, but I can do better. No, those collectibles were destroyed much earlier than that, and there's proof. Alright. If memory serves me correctly... Ooh, hello. That's nifty. If memory serves me correctly, point here is they broke during the shooting. That mirthful expression from Ray is, yes, she's so thrilled that she is schooling this Zoomer. Oh. I honestly don't remember which of these is the answer here. Broke during the shooting. Thinking about this one. Like, I feel like it's the note anyways. Just need to look at the confession. Seen it already. Read it front to back. Oh, mention the fidget tubbies. Oof! Can't build my way through this part. Oh, exactly how the fidget tubbies got turned to dust. Okay, move forward. Alright. Just take a close look at the rental you took into custody. Huh? One swipe of your finger should show exactly how devastating it was to the Fickle Buddy ecosystem. It's fidget tubbies. Whatever. You did take it into custody. I'm sure your techs found ceramic debris on it, yes? Now that you mention it. Fine, whatever. He broke them with his arm. While he was killing her. Happy? Overjoyed, because it's even a cheap arm's got an operating system that logged the last time it was worn, right? Right. So you happened to spot a footnote in the lab report. Said that rental hadn't been used since the AM. Whose side are you on, old man? It's gotten pretty late, sunshine. Just trying to save us all some time when I can. Well, thank you for your service. Well, thank you for your service. Are you seriously buying this crap? Look at how scrawled, how panicked that note is. It's for people to believe that he was that upset over a fidget tubby collection. Like, I could see her very much doing a, out of touch zoomer bit. Because she's flubbing the fidget tubby name. She's out of touch on the HBK killings. One that hasn't even been graded. Meanwhile, Reyes here is an aficionado. Setting aside Detective Reyes' surprising depth of knowledge when it comes to collectibles, you're correct. They held no real monetary value. It would be odd for Carlos to be so shaken over their loss. But so what? So what? After all, that's not panic you're seeing on that page. No. The only reason that note looks the way that it does is because Carlos... is right-handed. Because Carlos is right-handed. Yeah, I am. Did they not know that? Shouldn't that be on my permanent record for something? The reason why that note looks like asylum wall scribbles. It's just because he had to use his left hand to write it. He's only a few years older than Reyes. October 19th. Huh. Do you see ages on here somewhere that I missed? I could see I could see her being a few years older than Reyes, perhaps. London is the zoomer. Correct. I could see Morgan putting on a zoomer act, but London is indeed the zoomer. It's just because he had to use his left hand to write it. I tend to think better writing than typing. I need to get used to using my left, anyway. Almost Christmas, baby, yes. I just thought it could be good practice. Taking that into account, alongside the ceramics, your slam dunk confession is looking about as watertight as a fishnet. Okay, fine. Get about the confession. Congratulations, counselor. You've established that your client's remorseless. Now let's get back to the reality of the situation. Uh-oh. Here are the facts. We found your client at the scene of the crime. Wearing a coat covered in the victim's blood. Right next to a big old goddamn gun. You just happen to have his fingerprints on it. That's right, that coat is. What, you gonna claim it's not his? That he actually wears an extra small? She's trying to bait me in her typical low-key fashion. Ooh, as the arguments flow, you won't always have the stronger hand. Hold your tongue and avoid overcommitting. Take as little damage as possible and wait for a more favorable chance. Must have something. No sense playing into it. Something you'd like to ask me, detective? I'm just curious. What'll it be next? You gonna tell me actually where's an extra small? Oh! Justice blind? Gee, Carlos, do you? No. Yeah? Sure, there's no evil twin you forgot to mention? Huh. How does this work? Oh. Okay, now I'm remembering the scene in question here. Stay. No, I'm afraid not. Not even gonna go for a mysterious third party at the scene of the crime? To prove his innocence, I will need to get there eventually. I'm going there now without hard evidence. I have no evidence of a third person this time. Damn right you don't. Clear as day in the arcs. No evidence of anyone but Carlos being there that night. So keep dreaming. Oof. It's obvious she had something there. I wasn't going to win that hand either way. Just didn't overstep and take more damage than I had to. We're not contesting any of that, detective. My client freely admits to holding that gun. Picked it up in confusion after coming home to find a brutal crime scene. Which was not smart. Hey, but not illegal either. And that's all? He had her blood all over his clothes. Yes, he did. Right. Do you have those clothes on hand, by the way? The lab finished with them a while ago. What are you getting at? It'd be easier to just show you. Would you mind getting them for me? You know what? Sure. I could use the fresh air. Stinks of bullshit in here anyways. And here I thought the room smelled like... Psh, Morgan. What are you doing? My coat's covered in her blood. I remember that much. Doesn't that, like, make me look really bad? Just relax, Carlos. I'm pretty sure that's impossible. You're innocent. That means that having more evidence will always help you, not hurt you. Really? Really? Not really. Plenty of innocent people in prison. People with bad luck. Or bad lawyers. People shouldn't count on the truth to come out easy. More often than not, it takes coaxing. The Zoomer vibes are too much for Maze. Overwhelmed. What was it that reminded me? Alright, here it is. One bloodstained jacket, fresh from the lab. So what's your angle? Gonna tell if this is actually just hot sauce? No. That would be silly. She actually thought it over. So what the hell's your point? Hey. Sorry, I just got thrown up by the turn of good fortune. What good fortune? You should thank the detective for bringing you your jacket, Carlos. You just proven your innocence. My client was arrested wearing this coat. He would have been wearing it at the time of the murder. As the victim's blood on it, who we know died when she was shot in the heart. My gun that happened to be an old world pre-tagging firearm. Morgan's cooking. And so this coat proves he couldn't have been the shooter. Is there a gas leak in here? In what world does that make any sense? Sense happens to be key here. Just need to draw their attention to what they can see. The coat with your eyes. You smell with your nose. Feel with your hands. What's that smell? Just do me one favor, detective. Tell me what you smell. I don't smell anything except dried blood. Exactly. The coat smells like blood. Doesn't smell of... cigarette. That's what I've been smelling. Yes, Detective London, I was smoking earlier. Will you join the conversation? I've been listening. Do you want me to smell the jacket? If you would. Let's see. No gunpowder. What? What about gunpowder? Oh, don't blame yourself for not noticing. This was before your time. You can't be more than a few years older than me. Okay, there it is again, There it is again, Lilac, officially. Once again. Back in the court record. You were indeed correct. From Reyes' perspective this time. You can't be more than a few years older than me. But not before your partners, it seems. Good call on your part, Lilac, remembering that. See, gunpowder is weak by today's standards, but it's still volatile stuff. Hard to store, prone to misfiring. When it goes bang, it leaves behind an awful lot of evidence. The hell is she talking about, London? Modern firearms like the ones we carry use electricity, magnetism, even air pressure or sound waves. You've got more accuracy, more firepower, less recoil, less noise. They don't leave behind any residue. Gunpowder residue. See? Sad puppy look. You talked my ear off about how difficult it is tracking down a gun that doesn't leave digital traces. But a revolver like this one, it'd leave gunpowder on the skin of whoever fired it for days. His coat. If you don't trust your noses, you can check the lab reports. Think if they had found any gunpowder on my client or his clothes, they'd have taken the time to highlight it. Well, whatever. That just means he washed off after shooting her, or he changed his clothes. That's not impossible. It would be pretty pointless. His jacket and his left hand were blood-soaked when your officers found him. Would he really go through all that effort to get rid of something as subtle as gunpowder residue? Just to get the victim's blood all over himself afterwards? Bonk. You have mini railguns? Right? In light of these details, I'd like to formally request that you reconsider the charges Mr. Flat is facing as soon as possible. Whoa. They're faltering now. Should topple over at any moment. That was mostly icing on the cake for them. But that gun is all they had to link Carlos to any of the shootings. So it looks like he never actually fired the gun. I'll admit, things were a little dicey there at times. Once I was able to grasp the situation, the smaller pieces fell into place easily enough. Not my cleanest work by far, but overall I'd say. Did she get a message? Holy crap, Lambert! 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 Lamp and stud! Whoa! Holy crap, Lamp and Jake, how was Spirit of Justice? Holy crap! We get double pat upon! Late! Hello! Hi! Yeah! Did it shout out Jake too? We got the, What? It did shout out Jake. There was the shout out for Jake. Yeah. Patapon, don chaka. Hey, how was the Spirit of Justice? Did you in fact save Kiryu Kazuma? From, lawyer jail. I can finally do more Spirit of Justice. Heck yeah. 40 chessing. Oh, good. Lamp is cooking. We love to see it. We'll figure everything out before the end. Yes. We love to see Lamp cook. Of course they did. Of course he does. Kiryu's never killed a man. Never. Rubber bullets. Rubber bullets. We do have railgun bullets here, too. We're about to cook here. This is of the devil. It is a very much, a cyberpunk futuristic city. Ooh. I will say nothing. We'll see what happens. It's all rubber bullets. This game is a unique style. I'm here for it. It is really good. This is the it's labeled as Chapter 0. This is of the devil. We can at least pull through and meet everything. Here's our character, Morgan. We are, in fact, a criminal defense attorney. Funny thing about that. We like puzzles, smoking, wooden furniture. Dislike commercials, hairdressers, Maja. Jogging. You fall asleep in any position. You're gonna lurk. Yeah, feel free to dip. It's free on Steam. So feel free to pick that up, Banji. It's real good. We're getting to a very key part of it, so it's a good time for you to lurk, Banji. Here's our detective boy, Kasim London. He is a zoomer. He is so tired. And here's my girl Reyes. I do love her. She's got that angry wolf. Angry wolf? Angry dog energy. Here is the serial killer we're hunting. The heartbreak killer. Likes killing, dislikes getting caught. Favorite color, probably red. And here's our client. He's a civil engineer with a modded right arm. Student debt, sizable. Luck, poor. Okay, reading list. Read Danganronpa, library room vibes. Yes, Danganronpa is, in fact, one of the influences here. And yeah, it's serial killer looking like those red goons for the road ends with you. That is a very good point. Also, there's a whole ton of lore with really cheeky shit like let me find a good one. Yeah. Oh, here's a good one. Searching for this term may incur an account flag. Reading more about how we cooperate with authorities to combat disinformation here. Pink blood of the androids, yeah. They did pretty much make an explicit Danganronpa reference here, where we have warm androids. In this future, we're starting to produce warm androids with like 50% organic material, and they bleed pink. That's so Danganronpa. Love it. Oh, wait, did they actually manage to find it? Something you'd like to share, Detective Reyes? You're good. Reyes also has a augmented eye. It looks real cool when it's spinning like that. Twisting the truth into dots. Making the facts work for you. Thanks. But your luck just ran out. Net Scrubbers found a cam archive active at the exact moment of the shooting. And right now, I'm staring at a photo of the killer. Want to bet? Ooh. A photo of the shooter? If she had that, we wouldn't still be talking. I doubt she's just pulling this out of her ass. She's got something from the Scrubbers. Ooh. This might actually be an interesting... I'm not sure I follow, Detective. Didn't we establish that there was an optics blackout during the shooting? Sure, there was. This is in from optics. Ooh. Good thing I held my tongue. As I thought, the Scrubbers must have managed to dig up something from outside the network. Which means... Party's over, counselor. Feast your eyes on this. Well. Okay. The quality is lacking. And yet there it is. They managed to find a quarter needle of evidence in a whole city block of haystacks. What are the goddamn chances? No, with the scale their tools operate on, I guess the chances are, as always, in their favor. Alright, this is good, but if it's a far cry from the worst-case scenario I envisioned, you could even say I got lucky, which means the stakes are... well... can't even tell who I'm looking at. Yeah, it's Mr. Danganronpa. It's a little bit, but blurry. Don't look at me, I didn't take the damn thing. Or Mr. Case Closed. Technically, no one took it. Looks like at the time of the shooting, a neighbor was on their phone. I'll be venting about the crazy couple. How crazy the couple across the way was acting. But if their phone was on, its camera would be on. So he managed to get this shot through the window. Where to begin? Far away, unfocused, ultra-low resolution, zoomed in, blurred, color shifted. And so compressed it looks like it's from another century. There are tools that could enhance this image any further, and I could count the pixels on one hand. You could kiss its admissibility in court goodbye. You can't honestly claim you can identify my client from this image. There's no way in hell you could get this past a judge. Yeah, you're probably right. We couldn't. I think I know a DA that could. Oh. That hit a mark. Either way, doesn't seem like your client's leaving this police station anytime soon. That photo. What the hell is happening to me? Think I know a DA that could? Don't be so modest, old man. We have photo evidence of a left-handed shooter standing in the hallway. At the same time, the whole neighborhood heard a gunshot. Who do we know that had their left-hand fingerprints all over that gun? You're referring to my client. You think? We've established he wasn't wearing his modded arm at all tonight. Let's see. Let's look at this thing. Oh, don't need that. Here's the photograph. Look at this photograph. Every time I do it, it makes me laugh. Already been cleaned up as best as possible. So he must have shot with his left. Yes, and we've also established that he's weak with his left side. A left side that had no gunpowder whatsoever. Forensics will never be perfect, counselor. Sometimes we miss things. Sometimes you take a walk through the rain, and when you finally get where you're going, you somehow end up dry. Doesn't mean it didn't rain. Of all the shifty-ass police statements we could make here, all of which is to say, before a judge or jury, photographic evidence outweighs a failed sniff test. Carlos is innocent. I know he is. That photo shows a left-handed shooter. Carlos is innocent. That photo is real. If both are true, that means that photo doesn't show what it appears to show. So, at a loss for words? Never. I'm just confused about one thing. Where was this photo taken from exactly? It's got a very snackooed effect to it there. Exactly. Positional data is usually only accurate to the nearest public router. If we DNR on the phone's owner and ask them where, why bother with any of that? Ballistics and common sense tells us that the perp shot from the room's doorway. The front entrance to the apartment faces to the south. There's a hallway that runs back to the bedroom. Looking straight at the shooter, so it's pretty obvious that this was taken across the north window. From the north? This is from the north, and I can clearly see the, It's not that complicated. The neighbor who got the shot must live on the opposite side of the street. We're looking into the bedroom for the north window. She's wrong and sees this opportunity to start turning the tide. This is a good point to raise. This is a very good point to raise. I'm afraid that's simply not possible, Detective. This photo has to have been taken from the east. What kind of bluff is that supposed to be? Good detectives are misinformed here. I need to take advantage of it. Time to press the initiative. How do you mean this was taken from the east? The autopsy tells us the victim was shot from the doorway. Your officer's ARC's data tells us the precise location of everything in the room at the time they arrived. Now your photo has shown us the exact moment of the shooting. We're cooking. And... ooh, you can now raise the ante of a hand after the current max. Answer wrong and you'll lose more credit. But answer correctly, you can bank up more credit for trickier hands down the line. Ooh, and altogether that tells us that this photo must have been taken through the east window. As long as you consider... Let's save here. Max! Photo was taken from the north, so... what's our other piece of evidence here? Oh, the vase. Testifying the state of the crime scene when he left the apartment. Mirror was upright, clocks on the wall, chair got knocked over, bed got tossed, cushions torn. We have the data here. Victim shot with the room's doorway. Oh, I see that already. I don't know why those are separate pieces of evidence here. Oh, just wait a minute. Same handiwork as Priv 5. Lab message to confirm. Ballistics match 2. There's a handwriting at the bottom of the scan document. Oh gosh. Is that the DA, I wonder? Okay, nothing significant about the vase. I think we've already exhausted. I think in this instance... let's take one look at the clock in the photo. Booyah. The clock? What about it? The clock, huh? Seems like London's got an idea. He's mistaken, I could pounce on it to keep my tempo high. This photo was taken right before the shooting, so... wait, don't tell me that the time of death is wrong. Ooh. There's all kinds of nifty twists here. That's a good question, Detective London. The answer is no. The autopsy, the clock, and the neighbors all agree the time of death was 9 p.m. Right, no mistaking that. So then what the hell were you on about? There's a clock on the wall in this photo, analog style. It reads 9 o'clock. 9 p.m., the time of the shooting. How's so special about that? Nothing. There's nothing odd about the time the clock reads, but... due to there being a clock in the room... what? Actually... I don't recall there being a clock. That makes sense. You wouldn't recall seeing a clock. Because when the police secured the scene, the clock had already been knocked onto the floor. And? The only clock in that room is in the northeastern corner. And my client has informed me that before the crime, it was hung up on the eastern wall. Like so. She's so proud of her drawing. Look at her art. It's so good. What the hell is that supposed to be? An artistic rendition. It's very distinct. If you had the information about how the crime scene was before the shooting, why didn't you just add that to the arcs? And show you my hand? Just because discovery law compels us to share info, doesn't mean we have to play fair detective. Slid my mind. I'll do that now. There we go. The important thing is, if that clock was on the eastern wall before the shooting occurred, then this photo must be looking through the western window to see it. Don't start getting ahead of yourself. Victim was shot at 9 p.m. At the same time this photo was taken with the shooter. Do you want to claim that the clock's still on the eastern wall, but it would have been knocked down during the fighting? You've got your logic backwards, detective. Your precious photo shows that the room was pristine at the shooting. And there's one other piece of evidence that proves exactly how the cards fell. Trashed before the shooting. That's not it. Oh, that's right, we're proving Max. Because the glass shards fell onto you. Glass shards, what about them? Nothing much, really. Only that they're on top of the victim's body. And not under it. If the glass fell on top of the victim's body, that would mean that she was dead on the ground before the room got trashed. But that's... that doesn't make any sense. Why would anyone trash the room afterwards? That's a good question, Carlos. Luckily, it's the detectives who have to delve into the minds of the criminally insane, not us. Tell me, detectives, were there any signs of a struggle at the other crime scenes? The other crime scenes? No, nothing like that. Those attacks would have been over in a matter of seconds. So what did you think when you saw the mess in the bedroom? This was personal. Things had gotten complicated. Shit happens. Shit does happen, detective. But in this case, it seems there's been a general misconception about the order in which shit happened. Sort of the room didn't get tossed over until afterwards. He still shot her. We have a photo right here. And I'm glad you do, detective. Because that photo proves my client's innocence. Ah? Proving that it wasn't my client who pulled the trigger is difficult. Maybe more importantly for all of us, time-consuming. Thanks to your photo, I can instead prove that it couldn't have been my client who pulled the trigger. Because the man in the photo cannot possibly be Carlos. Like hell it can't. The glass shards prove that the room was pristine at the time of the shooting. And we know that until the room was tossed, that clock was on the eastern wall. Which means this photo of the shooter was taken from the west. Back to this shit? That's impossible. The only hallway in that apartment runs from north to south. The only person with prints of that gun is your client. The only fact that matters is that he used it to murder 6 innocent people. You're a very honest person, detective. Excuse me. That's why you're such a shitty gambler. Oh, she's got that look. You've played your cards too early. Now I can steal the pot right out from under you. You're right about the halfway's orientation. You're right about the prince. And this HK figure has claimed 6 lives. But we aren't looking at the hallway in that photo. But what we're seeing is... Curious. This is a photo of the shooter. Max fire. There's probably some fun Easter eggs here, but we're looking at a photo through a mirror. What is this? You're trying the glass shards again? Sort of. By the way, do you recall where those glass shards came from? Yeah, sure. They came from a standing mirror. A mirror that at the time of the shooting stood across the room from the western window. But then that would mean, at that angle, from that viewpoint, localized entirely in that apartment. Can I see it? No. It would reflect the hallway. So we're not seeing a shooter with a gun in their left hand. We're seeing a killer take aim with their right arm. And as we all know, my client hasn't had a working right arm in a number of weeks. He hasn't worn his rental since this morning. So I meant what I said about that photo. I'm glad that it was recovered. Because it just proved that my client couldn't possibly have committed this crime. That should be the end of it. Except it looks like Detective Reyes really is a novice gambler. Sunk cost has got its teeth in her now, clawing up her spine, whispering wounded pride in her ear. It's a cold sweat, hot palms kind of fever. The impotent, rational fury of losing something you thought was guaranteed yours. Luckily for you, Detective, I'm well versed in shock therapy. You look dissatisfied, Detective Reyes. That's one word for it. That'll allow me to put a nice bow on everything for you. In summary, my client's so-called confession was just a note to self. The police found him in shock, reeling at the death of his girlfriend, and arrested him for being next to a gun he forensically couldn't have fired. After being confronted with these facts, he received photographic evidence of the exact moment of the shooting. Instead of utilizing said photo to track down the real killer, he tried to claim it depicted my client. A man without the requisite limb. Standing in an architecturally impossible hallway. Oh my god. This is just the bully Reyes mode. That's... He could have had a backup arm. He could have stolen one. Though stubbornness can be charming, but this kind of desperation is ugly. It's getting late. Time to bare my fangs. A bit. Whoa! Ooh! That's the best you've got. Even a bare-bones prosthetic off the black market needs to be attuned to an individual's nervous system. You have to bring it into a clinic, which would have left a record of his on his shoulders OS. A record you won't find. You still have to somehow have gotten rid of it before the police arrive. As to be at the scene of a violent crime calls for full-spectrum scanning of the entire building and 100 meters around it minimum. So where, Detective Reyes, did he manage to hide the cybernetic arm from your drones in the time between the shooting and the arrest? Yeah. Well, this is ominous as hell. Ugh. I love it. Any objections? Reyes is fucking pissed. Detective? God damn it. Okay, that's cool. Fucking cooked her ass on a platter and served her up for an early breakfast. Take the L, girl. Show me your hand, Flap. You're uncuffing me. In light of the evidence, we have no reason to hold you. Now I gotta go call the DA. Tell her I made a mistake. Not we made a mistake, huh? Hey, she's owning it. Listen, kid, you should know. Detective? Lost my train of thought. But hey, your attorney's a real tiger, and she just fought like hell for you. Make sure you thank her properly. Public defense doesn't pay that well. Yeah. That's kind of you to say, Detective. But my work is its own reward. Sure. I feel exactly the same, Counselor. What happens now? I'll have to speak with the DA about the dismissal, and there's still some paperwork we'll need to go through. Basically, you're free to go. So, if anyone's still in chat who wants to play this game for themselves, Now is your time to dip out. Now is your time to dip out. Because there is a big spoiler warning incoming. Congrats. You get to leave the casino with your kneecaps intact. Yeah. Yay? But what am I supposed to do? Big spoiler warning incoming. Detectives will continue their investigation. Their investigation into heartbreak, huh? Yes. When the authorities are satisfied with their examination of the body, she'll be handed over to the next of kin. And then you can make funeral arrangements. Of course, this is chapter 0 of a much bigger project, so it'll be very much... This is going to very much be a reveal in the prologue. We're just going to play into the whole game way down the line, but still. No, that's not what I... Keep that in mind. Diane being gone is bad enough. But a serial killer? It's like she died of the flu. It doesn't happen anymore. People die of the flu all the time, but I know what you mean. I can't make sense of it. So what am I supposed to do? Hell if I know. There's some contacts I could give you. Services, professionals, doctors. No, you've done more than enough for me. When you got here, I was too tired to even defend myself, trying to convince them that I didn't. You saved me. Thank you. I'm very curious to see how this looks in this remaster, though. You're welcome, Carlos, but it's my job to... No, I mean, thank you for not asking. For not asking if I killed her. Oh, Carlos. I didn't need to ask. Why is that, Morgan? I knew you were innocent from the start. Of course he was. After all... Gonna skip it, or? Yep. The blood's always different. Heart's always in the same place. Easy to find. Hard to miss. The blood's always different. A flowering stain unfurling toward an invisible sun. Perfectly unique bloom. Only one for each of us. A Rorschach test with singular universal meaning. Vitality at its climax. Bursting forth into a red fractal consisting solely of an infinite the end. The comical thud of a body hitting the floor has its own kind of lowbrow appeal. Ooh. Well, well. Bullet number 6 of 6. The gun's empty. It's useless to me now. May as well leave it. Feels like a waste, but whatever. Finding the ammo was almost enough of a hassle to outweigh the advantages. That's a profile update. Hey! A new profile just for Morgan. Occupation, heartbreak. Occupation, criminal defense attorney. Criminal and defense attorney. Likes, high places, gambling, guns. Dislikes, nosy people, mud, headphones, hobby batting cages. Favorite dish, mapo tofu, oh heck yeah. Cannot carry a tune. Hey. It's like she was cooking something completely different. She was cooking some mapo tofu. I could sell an untagged gun for a fair bit of cash. But cash can't buy you peace of mind. I'm digging this song too. Oh, don't look so surprised. Lady. Whipping around in the dark in here, must have only been able to see my silhouette. Did you think I was her boyfriend? Back for an encore of that enthralling conversation. Can't ask her now. Hey! Yeah, did you hear that? These old pieces are so goddamn loud. And people aren't even familiar enough with the sound anymore to know to run the other way. Probably roused half the neighborhood. I didn't see anything I could use as even a partial suppressor on the way in. Bonk. Could they really not afford some throw pillows? use the other 5 bullets in outdoor spaces and small spears of opportunity. Blind opportunity that the city's eyes couldn't think to pierce. Cramped places, usually full of trash. This room, as cheap as it looks, is at least clean. Organized, even. So the corpse has a certain satisfying contrast. Except... there's shit on the floor. By the window, there's broken pieces of something fragile and tacky. It's fine. Just one thing out of place. Actually, it's not fine. It's actually really irritating. Kick over the stupid goddamn mirror. 5 perfect crime scenes, each of them not a speck of evidence, nothing to go on. For the final shot, there just has to be some pile of shit in the corner ruining everything. And sure enough, that's why she's so hung up on the fidgetigens. Take the wall. It ruined her crime scene. Something falls from it. Probably more tasteless bullshit. I toss over the chair, knock the urn, tear into the sheet with my frustration and try to save the shredding. Can't be clean. I'll just have to lean into the messy angle. At least it will be. Consistent. This was all so stupid. Honestly, I'm not the ego-driven type. In fact, I pride myself on my humility. Now, was it satisfying when the first 3 went down with single shots? Yes. But so what? I'm not made of stone. After that, I did say I'd actively aim for the heart, but... heartbreak killer? Really? Don't people have anything better to do with their time? What kind of miserable, lifeless voyeurs would obsess over something that's none of their business? All the threads and breakdowns and goddamn theory crafting. All for the heartbreak killer. Sounds like a soap opera villain. One of the seasons where the writers went on strike. I'd feel insulted by the label, but... oh no, that's someone else's name. They came up with it. They spread it. They marketed it. Heartbreak's got nothing to do with me. He's just some reclusive, lonely, socially impotent loser who shot 6 people because... well, I'm sure people will come up with something. I think I've rejected one too many times, or whatever. Me, I killed those people because I saw them and I wanted to. I've killed a lot more than just 6. Well, at least the room is thoroughly trashed now. If I had just walked away after seeing that mess by the window, it would have irritated me to no end. Now that doesn't match the MO of the last 5 perfectly, it'll irritate the cops to no end instead. Good riddance, Heartbreak. You enjoy your 15 minutes in the spotlight. Really savor it. I'm going home. The air is weighty tonight. Thick. Energized. Heavily foreshadowed summer rain I can feel on every hair. I call this kind of humidity oppressive, but I disagree. The warm tension on your skin, like in those short movements just after the shower turns off, when the steam lingers. Yeah. It's always most comfortable right afterwards. Maybe there's no disagreement to be had. Oppressive things can be comforting, too. Only the guilty ones run. Don't know about that. I know I've never felt guilty about any of this. And I walk. Sorry, using my left is still. That's okay. You can just initial in those spots. I took a scenic route home, courtesy of our fine city sprawling public transportation, and got in a bit after 11 p.m. Had myself a thorough shower, drank a glass of milk, did some stretching, made sure my phone was on. Time went by evenly. Around 1:40 a.m., a posting for public defender work came up. Decent rate, since it was so late and so urgent. I had wagered correctly that the boyfriend would have enough sense to ask for a lawyer, and enough debt that he'd need to be provided one. Really, wager? Gamble. Gambler with the system must be, to a lesser or greater extent, Insane. Oh, yes. Very much Akira vibes. From Pedestal. All I had to do was stay awake. There wasn't much competition after 1 in the morning. Okay, where else? Here and here. How did I phrase it earlier? Criminal defense attorneys aren't exactly flush with customers. Why wouldn't I take on a job where I already knew more than the cops? It would have been easy to convince Carlos to plead out. I would have gotten paid the same, too. But easy is dangerous. Carlos was, of course, innocent, so his conviction would never be airtight. There would be doubts, questions, appeals, maybe even fans, depending on his looks. More attention on HK and his crimes. More headaches. A cold case rotting in the very far back of public's awareness is always preferential to one open and shut in haste. Now, with no more murders matching HK's MO, there won't be any additional public pressure to find a culprit. No heartbreak can just starve to death, out of sight and mind, like any other fluke in the system. Almost done. Getting involved with a case this intimately does have its risks. Well, I might have even overdone things here or there. Like lighting up a smoke inside an interrogation room. Just to make doubly sure I didn't still smell gunpowder myself. Just to make doubly sure I didn't still smell gunpowder myself. The London fellow seems more fixated on it than I would have liked. It's obviously everything turned out rosy. It's worth it for the finality of it all. That's an interesting thread to have linger. London might have noticed something. He is the old wolf. Yeah. Seeing the authorities' failings from the best seat in the house. That's just a bonus. Thanks again, Morgan, for everything. I'm sure Diane is grateful, too. I'm sure she is. Funny. I didn't even know her name. Something the matter? No, sorry, it's just... I was mad when I left the apartment. I know she was, too. It's when she died. Death was instantaneous, Carlos. Can't imagine that she was in any pain. In fact, I can guarantee she was dead before she hit the ground. No, I know, but I just keep thinking that she must have died angry at me. She must have died hating me. Some evidence. Alright, to tell you the truth, Carlos, there's something I've been wondering about myself. What is it? Something I noticed in the ARCs data that I didn't quite understand. A piece of the puzzle I couldn't fit in anywhere else. If you could make sense of it. Meds for a martyr. What did you find that? That pill organizer was found on the victim. She had a grasp in her hand when she died. Obviously, the police added it to the ARCs, but it was quickly ruled irrelevant. Seems like it contained, triprexazone? Prescribed to help martyrs with phantom itches. Small tablets, and those are tricky clasps, too, for a pill organizer. Could be hard to handle with an unsteady hand. No one will ever know what she was feeling when she died. Even if they did, feelings are complicated. You can feel angry, happy, and sad all at the same time. As far as facts are concerned, it would appear that when she died, what she was doing was setting out your medications for the week. To my eyes, anyway. Uh-oh. Alright, long night. That was too far just now. Practically rubbing it in his face. Not like I care about his feelings. Doubt I'll ever even see him again. Overstepping like that is pure hubris. Hubris invites downfall. So why did he even bother? That really was an Ace Attorney moment. And we're sitting here going, why did we do that thing? Why did we do the emotional gripping evidence present thing? It was the last piece of the puzzle, I suppose. I just need to show more restraint next time. There won't be a next time for heartbreak. Guns in custody. There's no more bullets left. There won't be a 7th victim. There won't be any more leads to pursue. Let's do a fucking Killer 7 thing. Where, Garcian plays Russian roulette. And it just has the moment where it just picks up the gun. Click. This gun has 7 bullets. Bang. The media will move on to their next obsession. I'll move on to my next MO. And no one will ever found you. District Attorney Rockford. Ah. There she is. Sorry, can I try that again? I'm so fried. By all means. Counselor Morgan. Morning, noon, or night. You're always so put together. Thank you. I don't get it. How do you sleep at night? Pardon? You do white noise? Aromatherapy? Is our girl... Whatever you're doing, I need to steal it. God. Must have been have bags under my eyes and dark enough for the dumpsters. Assistant District Attorney Emma Rockford. She's a prosecutor, the lawyer who argues for the state in court, trying to prove a defendant's guilt. And despite her sometimes unkempt appearance, she's probably the sharpest person to fill the position in decades. I should know. And so I haven't beaten her once. Worse yet, she has the remarkable ability to compartmentalize all that adversarial energy, only bring it out in the courtroom. Part of what makes her good at her job. And hard for me to read. Should I buy a new mattress? What have they got you doing at this ungodly hour, Emma? Oh, well, actually I'm here for you. Me? Your client was a suspect in the Heartbreak killings. That's my case. Ah, glasses glow. Well, then you must have been relieved. Finding out that you won't have to go to trial against me. No? Why would I be worried about going up against you? It's always the unintended barbs with her. She is Rockford. Nope, that's not Rockford. Rockford. February 13th. Oh, one day just missed Valentine's, too. Oh, I love her. Occupation, ADA. Likes coffee. Coffee, toffee, haute couture. Dislikes sunburn. Dead pixels. Ice drain. Fair. Eggs. Benedict. Plays chess. Shogi. Idol savant stars. Understandable. Cat person. Yes. Very good. So, you're working with those detectives. Yeah, London, the new girl. Reyes. They've been reporting to me in preparation for the trial. Preparation for the trial? That seems ambitious. I guess they gave you the rundown. They've been doing everything they can, but it's hard to catch a killer who leaves behind so little. It's hard to kill while leaving so little behind. So, Reyes told you they had HK in custody and you popped out of bed all excited to run down here. Hardly. I haven't slept in 40 hours. Oh, she's just... Oh, I love her. Honestly. Too much on my mind. So, I heard about a case with a single female victim shot through the heart. Yeah, my ears perked up. That's about all. Oh. Well. Dealing a hand? I mean, Carlos Flat, a serial killer. The same serial killer that's outsmarted the state for weeks. I like this. he's not using his middle name. She doesn't believe it. He was found with the murder weapon. I can answer that any number of ways. This must be a very clear post-game. Does she suspect? That may be true, but then I glanced at the report. You glanced at it? Oh, no gunpowder residue on him or his clothes. Right. Too remorseful. Too apologetic in that note. Whatever it was about. His dominant arm modded. Documented sensitivity issues. Never could have made a shot that clean. Not without getting close enough to leave scorch marks. Under which he's too tall for the ballistics entry angles. And probably too heavy to not leave imprints. You got all that from a glance? She's good. Oh, she's good. From a glance and 40 hours of no sleep. I love it. I'm sure a competent lawyer like yourself pointed all that out the minute you walked in here. Of course. Worst part is she's not even being sarcastic. Yeah, of course, it couldn't have been him. Long-term relationship, physically imposing. Argumentative, it's not the type to bottle things up. He didn't match the profile. Profile? Yeah, right. Sorry, you probably never heard of it. I know what a goddamn profile is. A profile is a reconstruction of criminal psychology based on the evidence from their crimes. Kind of fallen out of fashion for the last few decades. Not much need to guess about the why when 99 times out of 100 the who was caught on camera before they even leave the house. I've had to find some real fossils and oddballs to get advice on how to go about it. I think I'm getting the hang of it. Oh. This profiling is some kind of investigative technique. The theory is that a crime can tell you something about the nature of the person who committed it. Stabbing, overkill, points to passion, rage, lust. They probably knew their victim. Poison and guns, meanwhile, suggest they can't overpower their victims physically. Then there's the things that you can assume about nearly all serial offenders. Childhood trauma, prior criminal record, few and no meaningful attachments. There's a lot of recurring themes in their stories. Detectives say HK doesn't leave evidence. So how much can his crimes possibly tell you? That he's diligent. Almost perfect. Highly intelligent, painstakingly organized, with enough criminal connections to get to his hands on an untagged firearm. It's rare to see her this animated outside the courtroom. Looks like she's enjoying herself. Hey, she's passionate. A sheltered house cat who's picked up the scent of a mouse for the first time. Lone wolf, educated, but all her playfully lethal instincts coming to life. Probably overqualified or undervalued. I've not thought about the fact that in that metaphor I would be the mouse. Know what I mean? Definitely! And considering the marksmanship, the detectives said they had HK would have needed insider information about optics. So does that mean heartbreaks in law enforcement? Never in 10 billion years. Oh. Antisocial, independent, despises authority. They'd be like a stallion applying for a job on a merry-go-round. They'd be kicking the kids in... They'd be kicking kids in the head after their first full rotation. Right, that's exactly how I'd put it. Must be some connection to the police, though. Be secondary or tertiary. These types can't help but insert themselves. Insert themselves? I do not don't do anything even resembling that. Wait, if HK's not a cop, how do they know about the blackout timing? Crime, meta-statistics analysis. Probably. Pardon? Take the emergency response times from across the city and map them out, look for brief spikes and delays, chart out the dips, and... sorry. Technical, I know. All the requisite data is publicly available. With that spreadsheet calculator. Anyone could reverse engineer the timing if they wanted to. That is such an unpleasant thought, Emma. At least this heartbreak maniac will slow down now that he's lost his weapon. He didn't lose it. He chose to leave it behind. It tells me he's confident he can do just fine without it. Just makes me even more certain that he's on his only kills. Were the other shootings with the same MO? No, not that I found. Are the victims that fit the description? No. I'm not overly focused on the victim's appearance anyway. I mean, these 6 victims all look like each other, but they also look like a lot of other people. That's true. Well, they kind of look like me. Do they? Sure. What? You don't see it? I hadn't thought about it. Point is, no one can kill that cleanly when it's their first time. Getting things that perfect takes practice. To know that 8K must have had a lot more than 6 occasions to practice, Morgan. That's why I think heartbreak is a misnomer. You've got something catchier in mind? I just don't think shooting them in the heart has anything particular significance. If anything, it's a testament to their accuracy and their cold-blooded efficiency. Best possible use of 6 untagged bullets. Working out that losing streak, yeah. Honestly, that would be utterly savage if that came down to this. Just working out her aggression on just the endless losing streak against Emma. 6 kills, guaranteed. No matter what kind of life support mods they were packing. Their real signature is the bullets of the gun. It's the perfection. That's hard to wrap your head around. I'm saying that these 6 murders were just a fluke, a slip-up, mistake. Exactly, a mistake. They got too clean, too efficient, and now they've got the public's attention. No wonder they're so pissed. Are you talking about the crime scene? Yeah, really threw the detectives for a loop, right? Based on what you've said, I don't blame them. Whoever trashed that room doesn't seem like the smooth operator you've been describing. On the contrary. I don't follow. This was the last bullet, their last shot. The other 5 were perfect. If anything was out of place this time around, you have to throw in one hell of a temper tantrum. You got her pegged to a T. You make them sound like a child. Morgan over here just squirming. Childish and cowardly and two-faced. Someone who hates to lose almost as much as they love to win. Your profile tell you all of that? That? No. That part's just takes one to know one. So to summarize, you're looking for a cold-blooded, faceless, perfectionist killer who you'd think has no persistent MO or victim type. In a city with an 8-digit population. Well, good luck. I don't need luck. I only need more information. But I'm sure the city would be happy to provide you with more resources. No, Morgan. I need more crime scenes. Oh. That's the wrong person to ask for more crime. Emma, that's the wrong person to ask for more crime scenes. Oh, you need more crime scenes, Emma. Well, don't mind if I do. Be right back. Sad truth is, if Heartbreak walked away today, I'd never catch them. The way my net narrows if they keep piling up bodies. Not a very fair trade, is it? No, it isn't. Getting screwed over is a given. It's a deal with the devil. Deal with the devil, eh? Fair enough. Oof. Okay, that man was pretty morbid and detailed. Need to get out more. Or sleep more. Or sleep less, but harder. Sleep too. Need to get into bed with the 1/2 A presses. To sleep twice. Sleep exploits. You think a higher thread count would help? Don't worry about it. I'm always happy to listen to you ramble. It's not more pleasant than having to face you in the courtroom. Sorry, but that's the adversarial process. No hard feelings, yeah? No hard feelings. We're both just doing what we do. Oh? I could use a cup of coffee. How about you? Don't tempt me. You fall asleep face first at the table. I won't even take a picture. Sleep too. Relaxation boogaloo. Okay. Just don't expect this to make a difference next time we're at each other's throats. Heartbreak won't claim any more victims. In 2 weeks, the media won't have moved on to the next sensation. The police will have moved on to cases they actually stand a chance of solving. It's what the people do. Whatever. It's different. Just had to decide and work a dozen other cases, never bringing it up. But a private corner of that frustratingly sharp mind of hers will continue to whittle away at it. Never finishing, but never quitting either. So I can't afford to take my eyes off of her. As long as that's the case, I may as well try and enjoy the view. Yes. Yes. Oh my goodness. Oh? Oh! Android! Oh, this is the next chapter preview. Which means you're going to be living with my friend for a while. For how long? I'm sorry, I don't know. Sounds homoerotic? Yes! We'd love to see it. Don't you look that upset over it? My face barely moved. It may as well have been a blatant pout from where I'm sitting. Yeah, like that. This friend of yours, they're trustworthy? Absolutely. In fact, I trust them more than anyone. Hey, come on, it'll be fun. Really? Really. Educational, too. Think you could stand to learn a lot from someone like Morgan. All right. That was a ride. Well done. God, that was well done. Gotta check out those, yes. Beta testers are friends, and all our friends and family. We continued in. You're the smartest person I know, Morgan, when it comes to people. Oh? There's always been nut jobs that find the company's work controversial. New character designs. Lawyers don't usually show up at the crime scene this fast. There's the taunt. I said it would be a pain in the ass. I never said I couldn't do it. The company's got us set for life. And probably afterwards, too. Ooh, I'd rather die than play the kind of slop those machines compose. AI music? So, that's not just a lawyer job thing? You dress like a doorman on the weekends, too? Compared to determining fault, determining cause of death is like a breath of fresh air. Ooh. I'm admiring you respectfully. The company has every right to defend itself. These laws exist for good reason, you know. People like that just don't belong in this world. Father said that you owed him. I don't do anything out of the goodness of my heart. When I take a job, I never half-ass it. Of the Devil Episode 1, An Idle Mind. Okay, we got more character designs to see here. I'm very intrigued. Ooh. Episode 0 results. I love Morgan's doorwoman style. 2 articles, 6 profiles, 18 key terms. Evidence, 35 credits earned. 35 credits. Congratulations, you've unlocked the store menu on your phone. You've got 35 store credits to spend on phone charms and case colors. Also unlocked concept art and bonus scenarios based on your highest score for episode 0. Oh, wow. Alright. Oh. London01.vid. Begin playback. Want to interview me? Very flattering, but aren't there more, lively folks around here for you to question? I had considered that. So I'm not your first choice. You're the first one who hasn't walked away. Think that I should probably... So what are your 3 sizes? Have you been opening with that? Should I not? Do you have any pets? I'm afraid not. Would need 1 or 2. Or 3 promotions to afford that kind of thing. Okay, Gumshoe, are pets that expensive? Only if you care about them. I found a place close to the park. Have you ever owned any automated pendants? Not at the chance. Would you own one if you could? Maybe one of the little vacuum ones. Anything more complicated than that is, If you find the owner's manuals intimidating, there are video-based tutorials I could show you. I'm not worried about the easy use, don't worry. I say complicated, I mean... It's like what I said about pets. If I'd leave a goldfish in a tiny bowl, time it takes to swim half a lap, forgotten what the first half looked like. Not a very tall hierarchy of needs there, easy to please. A cat? A dog? I want to be at work thinking about how bored they are sitting at home. Today's ads are a lot smarter than dogs, about most things. That's a very thoughtful perspective, Detective London. It's a moot point anyways. I need to get hit by a city bus to afford any of the new stuff Noble's selling. No, you're thinking of the sheltered generation. Sheltered as in sheltered upbringing? Or shelter in place? There's a lot of uncertainty during their childhood. So when they grew up, they wanted surety, safety, stability. Wanted to know that their heat would stay on in the winter. And their politics reflected that. That was all before my time. My generation is a little more, well, Generation Zen. He's a Zenny. So they called us in their think pieces. Even-tempered, mentally strong, and more than a little cynical. We disagree? It wasn't a matter of mindfulness, we just grew up without false expectations. Our vision wasn't clouded with illusions about impossibilities like home ownership. Or retirement. We realized early on that we'd be working right until we'd die. Detective? Unrealistic expectations. Some people call that hope. See your friends or classmates drowning every day in that kind of mire. You have to listen to people 3 times their age go on about how enlightened today's youths are. Gen Zen. It's not a name I'm particularly fond of. So how long have you been in law enforcement? Too long. How long have you been with the homicide department? Not that long by comparison. Sorry, to be overly vague. If you didn't want to know, I spent the bulk of my career over in arson. What's different from homicide? Well, sure, I'd say. Everyone jokes that homicide solved themselves with the city. In a city with this many cameras. Meanwhile, fraud and disinfo are so entrenched in the tech arms race that they barely come for air. But arson really hasn't changed much in the modern era. Bar is still very good at destroying evidence. You can't expect the drone net to sweep into burnt rubble and bring you back without the culprit's fingerprints and driver's license. It's a lot of legwork, a lot of interviewing. Since more than half of the culprits we caught were burners helping Megs commit insurance fraud. Spent a lot of time making friends and enemies in high-rise corporate boardrooms. Megs? They're slang for mega corporations, which is also just slang. At what side does a corporation become mega? It's not really about gross revenue or how many countries you operate in. If you're big enough to crush people, you're a Meg. An apex predator among apex predators. Like the Otodus megalodon of the Miocene epoch. Hey, that's... Wait, is that where it comes from? Do you just know the movie? So why are you working in the homicide department? What's that? Why'd you leave arson? The smoke. The smoke? It's got to a point where I couldn't stand the smell. So he is overly sensitive to smoke. Curious. Store. Morgan time? Oh god. Let's see. Fran charm. Magenta phone case. It's Morgan time. Fran charm. Oh, it's cute. It is in fact Morgan time. I want a Morgan time charm. Like magenta suits. Yeah. Teal. There she is. It's Morgan time. Alright. Reyes. I'm running it too into this. We're gonna check these out before we sign off. There, Reyes. In playback. Okay, you can start now that my desktop's censored. So, for the record, your full name is Bear Reyes. And how is that pronounced? Like how I just said it? Fair, Reyes. Thank you. Your birthday is October 19th. How do you take your coffee? She makes you fetch the coffee? Vigorous. Wait, let me guess. Councilor Morgan takes her coffee black. No. Decaf, like a real psychopath. Decaf, yes. Sometimes with milk. Oh, this has got to be our android friend. Nice, that's even worse. And you, detective? Is that the same sound font they were using in that that post-credit scene, that chapter preview scene? Is that same sound font they were using? With 2 sugars and a bottle of water. I've got this. 2 sugars and a bottle of water. Ah, you mean your eye? When did you have it modded? After I learned I was getting promoted to detective. Before I realized I was getting promoted to homicide. Oof. Do you regret it? No. Would have wanted it for work eventually. It takes me a little while longer to pay it off than I expected. Oh, October 9th versus October 19th. I'm hardly the only person my age walking around with their depths socketed onto them. That's a powerful wording there. I see. What are your likes? My likes? Pretty broad ask, don't you think? In that case, perhaps you'd find it easier to describe your dislikes. Small plates. Oh. I hate that dinner by 1,000 cuts shit. I see. I dislike cheap people and liars. Lawyers. Lawyers? They're smug, prideful. They bill by the minute. Greed personified, like their time is so goddamn important. And they're annoying and pale. She is thinking of Morgan. And smug. Should I put down smug twice? Yes. So what do you like, detective? Do you have hobbies? Areas of interest? Well, automotive history. Maybe. Oh, could you say more about that? I guess I could talk about it a little bit. The following section has been altered from its original format. It has been edited for time. Awkward, which was supposed to be a luxury version of pickup truck. I said there's a mark. That is so stupid. I love it. And it's a purplish bluish chrome color. The copyright is so intense that mixing the paint was illegal for. Oh, he's really into this. Oh, that's naturally aspirated. Can you imagine? I see. Do you own a car yourself? You're joking, right? Rather eat asphalt than buy an EV with my hard-earned money. The following section has also been altered from its original format. It has been edited for time. Strong language. 4 motors and a computer chip. It's not good engineering, that's brilliant programming, and acceleration is all that mattered. Very longer than 2 seconds, and that engine noise. Who in their right mind? I believe that feels like your dislike section, so what is your favorite drink? Dark and Stormy's pretty good. How do you make that? Ginger beer, rum, a lot of lime juice. Put together a recipe book or something? Who is your hero? Well, that was easy. Detective Kasim London, of course. Really? Oh. Should I relay your sentiments to him? I'm sure he'd love to hear them. Somehow I doubt that you get the tone right. Very well. In that case, what are your 3 sizes? My what? Measurements for your bust, waist, and... I'm not telling you that. Where the hell are you getting these questions from? I designed my interview process to extract all the same kinds of facts that are most commonly listed online. On what websites? Open source, collaborative, community-focused databases. You mean like a wiki? Would you prefer to skip this question? Tell you what. You can find a single person who does answer that question. I'll give you mine down to the millimeter. Oh, Carlos gets an interview. So this is like an offboarding thing? Exit interview? Yes, it is like that. Oh. Well, that's sweet of Morgan, still worried about me. How'd you know I'd be here? She didn't. Why are you here? Oh. Hoping to get back some of some of my stuff the police collected as evidence. Don't tell Morgan that, by the way. Is there something embarrassing among what they seized? No, it's just guessing as my lawyer. Is she still my lawyer? As a lawyer, you probably know the exact right form to get this stuff back, but it's okay. I wanted to do this myself. Why is that? Conquering my fears, maybe? Last time I came here, I was dragged in, strong-armed. Thing was going so fast, I barely spoke. I didn't stand up for myself. If I'd been able to stop and think things through clearly, well, I could never have done what Morgan did, but maybe I wouldn't have gotten myself dug so deep. It must have been very upsetting being accused of something so terrible. I'm sure you've acted just as well as anyone could be expected to. Thanks, I think. My arm? No, it's not back yet. At this point, I might be better off getting an upgrade rather than waiting for my current model to get fixed. Is that allowed? Yeah, it is. Can't downgrade, can't trade in, can't opt out. But Hindi will let me upgrade anytime. Do you ever regret it? Getting modded? Sometimes. But I have a lot of regrets. Compared to some of them, buyer's remorse is... How'd you deal with your buyer's remorse? Lately? Lately, I've been lying face down on the floor and exhaling. Oh, understandable. Just for 30 seconds. Count for 30. And you feel better afterwards? Yeah. Keep that in mind. And I've seen the protest, but I've never... It's a lot of pains being a martyr. Makes sense that people would have loud opinions, want them heard. We all made a choice. All signed the papers. Guess that's just it, huh? But all of us made the choice ourselves. Got modded to help my career. Didn't need to get modded, just in order to have one. A lot of people did and do. There was this guy who worked with us for 1 quarter. Probably a vet. Definitely didn't want to talk about it, so none of us asked. Good coworker, very gung-ho, cheery, and a muscle-headed kind of way. The physical jobs, there's no slouches, but he wasn't just fit, he was cut and handsome. So when he kept showing up to work with more and more mods, all of them cosmetic, I didn't get it. What's he missing? What's a guy like that want to change about himself? He offered full-time at the end of his contract, but he said he needed something that paid better. Turns out he'd blown every paycheck at elective surgeons. Shit. Pal of mine in HR said that he'd given his insurance info to 6 different clinics in 4 weeks. Word is he wasn't even using the pain pills. Sold with some of the drivers for extra cash. Ooh. Damn. Fucking... the pain. That's the worst I've ever seen it. Grafting runaway, or plastophilia, whatever they're calling it now. That's very concerning. That's not the only time I've seen it. Not like there's no incentive for it. Because there are plenty of megs out there that see people hurting like that and think, there's an ideal worker. That's scary. Are you work for Morgan? And you're... wow. Lawyers must make more money than I realized. Wait, are you here to give me the bill? How much do I owe? You don't owe her for anything. Her services were paid for by the state. And I happen to be forbidden from handling any kind of financials due to an, ongoing dispute about what constitutes essential office supplies. I hear ya. Diane was always the money-smart one. Pretty strict, actually. unless she saw a fidget tubby on the shelf. I'd see her eyes light up, and hear her huffing like she just won the lottery. "They're ugly cute, babe." And I would say, "Well, you're a cute, babe." Believe it or not, she thought I was pretty suave. Aw. That's adorable, honestly. That's an adorable little detail. Alright, Morgan. Begin playback. You're going to interview me. Here. You did say I need to practice asking better questions. But right now? I guess you said the police would be making us wait so they feel more important for the next 20 minutes. Is there some more productive way we can spend that time? I was planning on napping. For 20 minutes? In the lobby of a police precinct? I can fall asleep anywhere. It's one of my many hidden talents. You're gonna write all this down. Would you start with your name for the record? Morgan. And your first name? You should know by now that no one calls me by my first name. That's something you have control over. I wouldn't want to force the issue. How long has that been the case? As long as I can't remember. What did your parents call you? The tumor. Oh! Yikes. That was a joke. Oh. Maybe we should have started you off with someone a little more your speed. Who better to start with than you? Someone who likes talking about themselves. You seem to talk about yourself as much as anyone else does. Or more. I tell people things about myself. It's different. Because you're lying? Now you're getting it. It's not very polite to lie. Was it a joke? Yeah, I wonder about that. She is very much upfront about lying about herself to people. In this instance, it's easy to write that off as a lie, when it could very well be true. On the contrary, telling the truth is usually rude. I'm not sure that your clients would appreciate that sentiment. We're not talking about my clients, we're talking about manners. We're supposed to be talking about you. Look, the sooner you learn this, the better. People ask how you are, what you've been up to. They're not looking for anything nearly as the truth. They're just following the template, and the polite thing to do is for you to follow the template as well. Here, let's practice. Hi, how are you? I'm good, thank you. Way too late. The whole point is to be on autopilot. Now you force them to grab the wheel, check their mirrors, and no one's ever grateful for the extra workload. You can be very cynical about these kinds of things at times. I'm just trying to teach. I'm just trying to tell you that people are fundamentally lazy. If you want to be a social butterfly like me, try not to make them work too hard. Fundamentally lazy? Do you think people are fundamentally good, though? Obviously. If they weren't, they wouldn't be so easy to trick. So are you planning on answering any of my questions about yourself? I've still got time to kill. Fire away. Will you be honest? I wouldn't want to be rude. Yeah, she won't be. When is your birthday? Wait, you're not trying to guess my passwords, are you? I would never commit identity fraud. Not the worst way of going about it, actually. December 26th. Yeah. That is one of the factors ever brought up. Serial killers like heartbreak, histories of familial abuse. 26, that's almost Christmas. But almost Christmas. Oh, they're gonna do the thing. They're gonna do the thing. Oh, but almost Christmas means it's not Christmas. They did the thing. Your insights are always so original. Did you receive your presents on your birthday? Or on Christmas? What do you mean? Did you not celebrate Christmas in your family? We did. Did your parents give you your presents on the 25th or the 26th? Well, I got Christmas presents on Christmas, and I got birthday presents on my birthday. Obviously. All your questions are going to be this strange. What is your favorite color? Oh, your question's going to be this juvenile. If you prefer something weightier, do you volunteer? No. Do you donate? Yes. What causes do you donate towards? Endangered wildlife. Ah, what's with the face? It's on auto renewal, I just haven't cancelled it yet. You mentioned a mentor figure before. No way I ever called her a mentor. A busybody, maybe. World record holder for billable hours spent under the influence, perhaps. Or just, you know, a cougar from hell. Ooh, ooh. Mommy, tell me. Mommy, tell me. Mommy, please. If she had rubbed off on me in any way, I'd have hives. I see. Is she a smoker? Lastly, do you know your 3 sizes? I do. Would you tell me? That's private. You value your privacy very highly, don't you? More like everyone else doesn't value it enough. What is rising? The world's getting smaller, literally. Less real estate to go around. Everything's connected to everything else. These days, just wanting some time or space to yourself is considered selfish, or worse. Only the guilty have something to hide. I don't like that phrase. Hives. Laws like the Mob Act have made it so anonymity and privacy are luxuries. Privilege is reserved for the privileged. If anyone below that tax bracket tries to claw away a little bit of it for themselves, well, it can only be because they're guilty, right? Is that why you became a criminal defense attorney? To defend people's innocence? That's private. Very interesting. Very interesting. Little conversations here. Let's see here, Morgan. How does that hair work? Understandable. I love it, but understandable. Fascinating lady indeed. There's our boy. There's our boy London. Sucker for that goatee. Not gonna lie. Reyes, there's our girl. Eyes out, eyes in. I like the touches of blonde in her look. I did not even realize we never actually seen her lower half. She's wearing sneakers. She's wearing sneakers. I love that. Oh, the duo. Here's the smug pair together. One tired, one smug. Oh. The what color's there? Yeah, there she is. I like the design progression here from But I absolutely adore how her expressions turned out. Yeah. Oh, C flat. A curiosity, no doubt. I do adore how her expressions turned out. Oh. CG interactions. C flat, indeed. Like, the only thing I can think of in terms of Carlos flat is that it's his flat. Raised to feet. Flat Morgan introduction. Like that. Ah, yep, there. Morgan's and Emma's. Yes. The doorway parallels, one in darkness, one in light. They're just immediately side by side. They're laying that theme out right next to each other here. Morgan and Light. Surrounded by darkness. Emma in darkness, surrounded by light. They're throwing that parallels right there. There they are. In post credits. Oh, I can't wait to beat this fella. Heartbreak? I like squat Emma. Oh, sorry. This does look like the like a generic World Ends With You enemy of some sort. I'd like squat Morgan here. Morgan in this pick wouldn't look out of place in Hazbin Hotel. That is correct. I agree there. Android. I'm really curious to know their name. Oh, there's a detail there. Inverse of Morgan's colors. Ah, so they are going to be the Aoi to Morgan's Akane. Yeah. I like that. I can't get over that hair construction diagram there. That hard fake killer. But that is good. And my little Morgan charm there. I think at this point, yeah, we have this laid out here. We have some to spare here. It is in fact Morgan time. Get everything we can get out of this. So, return to title. So we open the bonuses. Yeah, the bonus pulls up this menu again. Very nice. And I have no more credits. Need to load my save in this room. Maintain that. Alright.